get carried away, but you had a lot to say. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We're fighting all the time. You say I'm out of line, but this life is only mine. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Understanding that I have to go this way is probably harder than asking me to stay. If there's a moment that you can't stand, enough is enough. Get over ground where you can land. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I've held on to all these ties, unspun all your lies, and heard 1,000 cries. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. On the edge of asking why, you don't even want to try. The feelings all combine. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Get out and people see this thing we got. Take your time with all this together. Get out and people see this thing. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Understanding the world won't turn your way makes it harder for
12 teams representing some of the biggest cities around the world. 72 of the world's most talented poker players with over $350 million in combined lifetime earnings will put everything on the line over 8 months to compete for the title of the first ever GPL World Champions. Which team has what it takes? The Global Poker League starts now.
Hello and welcome to the Global Poker League. This Tuesday evening, we are live and interactive with you. Tonight is all about 6-max action. We have some fantastic games coming up for you, including 2 from the Eurasian Conference to start things off, and then 2 from the Americas Conference as well. I'm Laura Cornelius, and I will be joined by the commentary team of Sam Grafton and Griffin Benger. Let's take a look at today's lineup then, and some of those matches that are coming up. The first one, as we said, is from the Eurasian Conference. It's kicking off at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Central European time. We've got Sam Trickett, Mustapha Kanit, Brian Rast, Fabrice Soulier, Anatoly, Filatov and Celina kicking things off. The lineup will stay the same for the second 6-max game of the evening from the Eurasian Conference as well. That one will be starting at 10:40 Pacific, 1:40 Eastern or 7:40 p.m. Central European time. And then it's time for the Americas Conference. 6-max matches. Match 53 starts at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central European time. We're going to have New York rounder Jason Mercier on that one. Fedor holds for LA Sunset. We have San Francisco Rush's Jonathan Jaffe, Jonathan Duhamel for the Las Vegas Moneymakers, Martin Jakobsen for the Montreal Nationals, and Joao Bauer for the Sao Paulo Mets. And then that second one as well, kicking off at 2:10 Pacific, 5:10 Eastern and 11:10 Central European time. The lineup is exactly the same as the first Americas Conference game, except one difference. Scott Ball will be taking the place of Jonathan Duhamel for the Las Vegas Moneymakers. And now I am joined by Mr. Griffin Benger in the studio. We've lost Eric, unfortunately. We've lost Sam as well, and you've grown a mustache.
No, actually, this was always here. I just shaved everything off, just gave you guys a little different look. a little Ron Burgundy for this week 6 here at the Global Poker League.
Oh, is that what we're to expect this week then? A bit of
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe
Don't be swearing into the camera, Griffin.
No, none of that. No, none of that. Of course not. I mean, as long as it's not on the teleprompter. I mean, we all know how crazy that can get.
Luckily, we don't have a teleprompter in the studio, so we're safe. Okay, let's talk about last week because we had some great action from the games. Obviously, every Tuesday we have 6 max action, and every Wednesday and every Thursday we have heads up action. What was one of your favourite matches from last week?
Well, Liv Bree getting the 6 points for the London Royals. Again, getting another win in the 6 max format. Obviously, everyone loves Liv. So do I. Tony Gregg back in top form after getting 6th place in both of those. That was really important to see. In the heads-up matches, we had just the storyline, of course, of Tyler Kenny. Constantly playing heads-up, it seems, with the Brazilian São Paulo representative. There was a lot of things that went on last week. I mean, Wayne Zhang had a bit of an interesting experience with Max Pescatori, which a lot of people were talking about. A little distracted playing an event on the side, but something I guess we have to come to expect during EPT Monaco time.
Yeah, we had a lot of play from EPT Monaco. Igor Kurganov as well was another one who at first seemed a bit distracted starting his game against Mr. Perkins, and then he managed to sort of get it back.
I think it might have helped that he was playing one of the less accomplished, less experienced players in Bill Perkins, but he was obviously extremely entertaining and fun to watch, getting a little insight into his rich man lifestyle, as they would call it. So it was really fun to watch that particular match. Olivier Bousquet against Tom Marchese.
Our top scorer of the league so far.
Unbelievable, really, really fun to watch. Definitely a highlight for anyone who's a fan of the GPL. If you missed the Olivier Bousquet, Tom Marchese fight. I call it a fight because the guy fights in a ring. This is how crazy he is. He's someone that I'm really excited to, hopefully maybe get a little interview with in the future and talk to him if there's so many questions that I have for a guy like Olivier Bousquet. But Tom Marchese, such a battler. It was an awesome match for sure.
Indeed, and don't forget Kitty Quo against Jonathan Little. That was one of my favourite heads-up matches, just because Kitty Cam is awesome. Yeah, the little Jonathan against the cat herself, Kitty Quo, was a lot of fun. She's very close to getting swept by the very accomplished Jonathan Little, but was able to squeak out a win at the end. She was a lot of fun to watch in the 6 max format when she won her game. So she's someone that I think is going to become a fan favorite, and it's something that we've been pushing a lot, simply because we know what kind of personality Katie really is. So great for the GPL, great for the Rush, and unfortunately though, Jonathan Little becoming a bit of a star within the moneymakers, getting some points. Yeah, exactly. So he was really interesting to watch as well. And let's talk about some of the action coming up today, because I think we have one debut. We have the debut of Brian Rast. The Rast machine, the Rastinator himself, Brian Rast. You played him many times? I haven't really played at all with Brian. I think I played with him very briefly this summer when asked him if he would take a sports bet and turn me down. So clearly he's a very intelligent bettor, because I'm just like such a good sports bettor. So Brian I played with briefly once. You should have a mustache. The mustache will definitely get me in there. We look at the lineup. We got Sam Trickett, such a legend, someone hopefully we'll be able to speak to. Mustapha Kanit, first overall selection, unbelievable talent. Rast. Fabrice Soulier ready for some redemption for his underperforming in the first time. Again, Anatoly Filatov, we can't escape him. And Celina Lynn back in action. Haven't seen her heads up, but she likes the 6-max format. That's we haven't seen her play any heads up, have we? We've only seen her and we haven't seen her get heads up either. So maybe this is it. Maybe against this lineup of really poor players, just the softest 6-max I've seen in the league so far, in the likes of Tricket, Kanit, Rast, and at Filatov, I'm sure she'll be flying for the Hong Kong Stars. So tell me, if you could put some money on someone in this match, who would it be? I would say Tricket, Kanit, and Rast are huge favorites against the reading. I said one. Mustapha Kanit's my favorite tournament poker player, but Tricket is just, the way he played the other day. Yeah, he played Randy Lou, didn't he? It's almost unfair for me to pick between the three, and it's also almost unfair to not even mention the other two. Not to say Celina Lynn isn't anywhere near as good as the likes of Fabrice and Anatoly, but we haven't seen much from Celina Lynn, whereas someone like Anatoly, obviously we've seen a lot. Fabrice is someone who has an incredible pedigree of success. And then those three are three of maybe the top 15, 20 tournament poker players in the world. So this is a really exciting heat for everyone involved. Do you think there are any surprises lurking? Anything fun to expect from this match? Other than maybe a 6th card after the river, I don't think there's any surprises to expect. That. Maybe a 7th player. Maybe we'll go 10-handed. Just do it EPT style. Let's go 10-handed day one. No, I don't. As far as for the play that we expect,
I think we're going to see a lot of fun from Mustapha. I would love to see him in particular on the webcam. I don't know. I'm not in the production office back here, but I hope to see Mustapha on the cam. He's the personality that I'd be most excited to see.
We saw Mustapha, not much of him in the first week, right?
Yeah.
He started off good, and then he didn't.
I mean, he
played
played some pitch perfect poker. If you ask me, he didn't really make any missteps. Lost that huge cooler hand against Mike Leah, pocket aces against pocket queens. So I really didn't think that there was anything that he did particularly wrong. It's just the nature of, when you're thrown into the water with 5 of the other, biggest sharks in the ocean, you're going to get bit a few times, and I think that's what happened to Musta there. And I think he's excited to. I think this is a challenge for him that he would really like to take on and just be the first guy to just bang out 2 wins. Bang it like Jonathan Little, just get those 14 points. So, but I think he's going to be real tough with the likes of Tricket and Rast for sure.
Well, that first match is kicking off very, very soon. Stay with us here on the Global Poker League. On the website as well, globalpokerleague.com. You can leave us your feedback if you head down to the bottom right-hand corner. We have a little green tab, and if you have any ideas on how to improve our show or tell us what to do, then write it in there and let us know. Also on Twitch, don't forget to follow us as well. It's around here, the green heart button, somewhere around there. Right, so thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Griffin Bender. He will be heading off to the commentary booth with his co-host.
Yeah, I just got to take a cab. It's very obviously. I mean, with the whole studio, it's like a big lot. So I got to take a taxi. It's more of like a go-kart kind of thing, but I should be there in the next few minutes. Just give me a little time.
We'll phone the cab for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, this is what the Global Poker League is all about. If you don't know how the structure works, we're already into week 6. Take a look at our video about the structure.
The Global Poker League consists of 12 worldwide teams, 6 in the Eurasian Conference and 6 in the American Conference. Each team has a total of 6 players, and the manager of that team may choose whoever they like to play at any time, provided each player on their team plays a minimum of 6 matches across the season. The GPL starts the regular season with 8 weeks of online arena action, which consists of 6 max and heads-up matches. Every Tuesday, all 6 teams from each conference will face off in 2 6-max sit-and-goes. One team in each conference will play as the home team, while the other 5 are away. Home team managers have the ability to pick their players once they have seen the lineup of the away teams. Points will be awarded to all teams competing except for the 6th place finisher per match. First will get 7 points, second 5 points, third 3 points, fourth 2 points, and 5th will get 1 point. Every Wednesday, each of the 6 Eurasian Conference teams will battle in 3 heads-up games against an opponent from another Eurasian Conference team. And every Thursday, each American Conference team will do the same. For heads-up, one team from each matchup will play at home, while the other away. All 3 games will be played, with 3 points awarded per game won and 0 points awarded per game lost, with a total of 9 points available. After the 8 weeks of online arena, live heads-up play will be introduced in the Global Poker League Summer Series in Las Vegas. Teams from GPL's 2 conferences will face off against each other in cross-conference heads-up play in 6 heats across 5 weeks of daily action. Just as in the online arena, during studio heads-up play, they will duel for 3 games, with 9 possible points available per match. After the summer series, the GPL regular season continues, with 6 more weeks of online arena action, after which the 2 teams at the bottom of each conference will be eliminated, and the remaining 8 will advance to the playoffs. The playoffs will see the much-awaited introduction of the Cube, the ultimate poker arena. A 2-day event hosted from an epic venue in North America at the end of September will see 8 teams reduced down to 4 in a completely revolutionary 3v3 format. Finally, the first season of the Global Poker League will conclude its play with the live finals, played from the Cube at the SSE Arena, Wembley, in London, where the champions of each conference will be determined on day 1. And finally, on the grand final on day 2, where the Americas Conference winner will face off against Eurasia's best to determine who will be crowned the Global Poker League champions.
Hey Hey guys, it's the Global Poker League. I'm Griffin Benger. I don't know, I woke up with this thing. This is Sam Grafton. We're here with week 6 of the Global Poker League.
6 weeks in.
No, 5. 6 would feel a lot, better.
I wasn't sure it was going to last.
Oh,
this
yeah.
long.
By week
when they
2.
said 8 weeks, I was like, no way. I was 4 weeks, we're getting cancelled. So pretty impressive that we're still here, still battling on.
Just trudging along. We don't have to do anything about the last week. Usually you guys are like, expecting all this content. We already did it. I did it with Laura in the thing, with me and my mustache.
Laura, that's a great team, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I try to tell her, but she won't return my calls, won't get dinner with me, nothing. So let's talk about today. We have a really epic 6-max matches to start. We got the debutante of Brian Rast. We have the number 1 overall pick, the legend, Mustapha Lasagnem. Sam Trickett, one of the biggest showcases of the heads-up matches.
Yeah, I think that's really exciting. I mean, one of the things that the GPL offers is a chance to see some of the legends of the game in action who ordinarily the viewing public aren't treated to. Obviously, tournament players, with EPTs being broadcast around the clock, World Series of Poker finals, we tend to see a little bit of how they play and their style. Some of these guys, though, are in high stakes, private cash games. That's where they make the majority of the money. People like Brian Rast and Sam Trickett, over the last couple of years, we haven't seen as much on the tournament circuit. So really exciting today to learn something of how these guys make their money.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you to an extent, but to be fair, Brian Rast did win the one drop for millions and millions of dollars. I guess what it was 2 years ago, yeah? Or 3?
No, he won the Players' Championship, the 50K Players' Championship.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think he won one of the one drops.
He definitely didn't. The one drop winners are Dan Coleman, Jonathan Duhamel, Tony Gregg, and Antonio Esfandiari. But anyway.
I think you need to look this up. He's right? Okay.
I'm absolutely right.
Someone didn't do his research this weekend.
But anyway, obviously we did see Brian Rast had that amazing run in the World Series, won a pot limit Hold'em bracelet, then won the Players' Championship. I'm not saying that we're completely unfamiliar with these guys, but, at the moment, they're a little bit off the scene. Really exciting. I hedging my bets a little bit, suggested that there was a small chance that Sam Trickett was a little bit rusty last time, but in fact, he turned out to play absolutely brilliantly. So Brian Rast.
Yeah, I mean, best GPL rank. This is a top 10 player, from the USA, over 16 million in earnings, just 54 results to get to that kind of money with 8 wins, so many 6-figure, so many 7-figure scores, and, just an absolute legend of the game. And yeah, it was the it was the 500,000. That's why you confused me. He said it was the 50,000. He won the $500,000.
Oh yeah, he won the high roller bowl. At
basically the one drop.
Yeah,
and that was for a whopping over 7 million.
Of course. And and that was broadcast, was it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that was someone Phil Helmuth said was his sort of thought was
the
and
Phil Helmuth's word is gospel here. I don't know if you guys watched the draft.
Philip Gruesome obviously backed that up and went number 1 with Brian Rast. So obviously someone the top players in the world really respect. I don't know so much about him. Super excited to see him in action.
Yeah, I've never really seen him play either, so that's something that's really exciting to me. I've read a lot of updates on Poker News and the like that. For someone like Brian, never seen him with a webcam in his face, at least not playing poker. So let's see who else we got here in this 6-max lineup. Mustapha. Kanit. Lasagna. Nom, 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 nom. There he is. Oh, my God. He's so adorable. This guy's always in the top 10 of the GPI. He's from Italy. He has almost 8 million in live scores. 69 results, an incredible win rate with 11 wins. Only been really in the circuit since I remember the first time I played against Musta was in a 10K buy-in on and Scoop in the Poker Stars, and the guy was absolutely crushing me. I was like, who is this, asshole, clearly a cash game background? Well, this is the asshole. He's unbelievable at poker, and he's the number 1 overall pick in the GPL.
Of course, an amazing Monte Carlo, just another day at the office for Mustapha Kanit. Cash for 1.6 million, chopping the 100K with Ole Shemion, and, a guy that posts results month upon month.
Yeah.
Really, really exciting to see. And maybe get the engine started for Rome Emperors.
Yeah.
And
if anyone can, it's time. It's time. Get a week 6, get the big man in there, fight off the Trickets, fight off the Rasts. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's someone also that, has an outrageously aggressive style of play. I mean, if you saw the heads-up match with Ole Shemion, he lost the majority of his chips just firing off with 10-7 high. And Shemion actually called him down 3 streets with ace high. So, be really, really exciting to see whether he transfers that aggressive style from the world of high rollers to the GPL.
Yeah, a score of almost, what was it, 1.4, 1.5 million euros. But let's talk about Mr. Tricket. This guy has cashed for, what is it? It would be 8 figures in a tournament, single tournament before. Over 20 million in earnings. Second place to Antonio Esfandiari in the first big one for one drop, the $1 million buy-in. He had 200% of himself. This guy just has so much money and fires it off. He loves to gamble. 67 results, 14 wins, incredible win rate. This guy has won absolutely everything. Partouche, WPTs, just all over the place. Playing since 2007 in May. And he has a tough challenge here with the rest of the group.
Yeah, someone that's done it all, really. Online cash games, tournaments online, primarily tournaments live, and of course live cash games now, where he spends the majority of his time. Real top class player, a real phenom, legend of the English game.
Yeah.
Lots to be excited about for London Roars fans.
Now let's talk a little bit about Fabrice Soulier. He had a lot of trouble in his first 6 max heat, but this is a guy that is so competitive, so committed to poker, to the GPL. He was in here day one willing to do an interview. He's the captain of the Paris Aviators. This guy has been as high as number 3 on the GPI rank. That just goes to show how much talent he really has. It's interesting with a lot of these managers, you think, maybe they're trying to get out of the game a little bit. This guy is so committed to his game. Incredible win rate, 132 wins, 132 results, 18 wins, almost 6 million in cashes. I remember watching this guy when he was, I believe it was heads up or three-handed in WSOP Europe when Andre Diaz, was for instance, Andre Mateos won.
Yep.
He was playing phenomenally, so I really think this is a guy that's going to surprise a lot of people, and he could be someone who sneakily kind of gets 10, 11 points out of this.
He'll be eager to maintain the momentum of the Paris Aviators. Obviously, he didn't get off to the most auspicious of starts in the 6 max match the other week, but he'll be strong performer today.
Speaking of managers, Anatoly Filatov. You guys are probably not familiar with this guy unless you've watched one day of the GPL. Filatov, the leader of the Moscow Wolverines, best GPI rank of 28, only 1.3 million in earnings, but if they counted GPL points earnings, it would be a lot more than that. He's played a lot in the 6 max matches and heads up. Really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, against General Leia, we saw a somewhat deflated Filatov, perhaps had a tough Monte Carlo. But before that, as you say, he was absolutely crushing. Hopefully he's recovered somewhat in his spirits, recovered his focus, and he's ready to put in work today.
Definitely. And he's someone who being the leader of the Moscow Wolverines, they're really jockeying for position with the Aviators. So it'll be interesting. This is a kind of, I think that Mustapha, Kanit, Sam Tricket, they might take sort of the, and the Rast debut, they might take more of what we're going to be talking about. But in reality, the two managers of the top 2 teams are representing their teams today. So that'll be really interesting to watch. But let's move on to the other manager playing in this that's kind of getting lost in the shuffle. And that's poor Celina Lin, because she is in trouble today. This is an incredibly stacked lineup.
Yeah, really, really tough lineup. Celina Lin obviously did get a result in Monte Carlo. One of the reasons she couldn't take over for Wayne Zhang when he played heads up last week. She finished 5th in a side event.
Nice.
Last time we saw her get a little bit frustrated, when opportunities didn't come her way. Perhaps not used to or as used to competing in this kind of tough lineup as you like the likes of Tricket, the likes of Kanit, who play consistently in high rollers. She just needs to bide her time, stick to her game. Obviously, she was very, very unlucky in the second 6 max match she played, where Anatoly Filatov reshoved ace-6, and you remember, got there on the river against her ace-king. Otherwise, she could have scored way more points than the 3 she's already managed to put on the board for the Hong Kong Stars.
Yeah, there's so many little kind of pressure points within these matches where, we looked at the Tony Gregg hand with the Kings against the Ace-Jack, where he could have just been out first time in 6 as well. So it's important to give Celina the benefit of the doubt, having only gotten those 3 points. But this lineup, I know so much about the other players and not a lot about Celina, so she's got to prove to everyone that she's ready here to play and represent the Stars.
Let's go over to the lounge, where I think Laura's going to show us the standings.
Why, thank you so much, Mr. Sam Grafton and Griffin Benger. They will be back with you commentating through the very first 6 max game of the evening very shortly. We are going to take a look at the standings as they are right at this moment before any games have taken place. Last week was an excellent week for the Paris Aviators, who remain at the top, clear by just 1 point, though, of the Moscow Wolverines. It was Mike Leah, actually, who picked up most of the points for the Aviators last week after winning one of the 6 max matches and also winning one of the heads-up matches as well. So, as we said, Moscow Wolverines now on 64 points, so they really will be looking to take down and come out on top this week. Hong Kong Stars, 51 points, so a huge difference there between second and third place, 13 points. Celina Linside didn't fare so well last week. She's back for her team today, hoping to score some points and elevate them back into the first top 2 of the table. London Royals are on 49 points, just 2 points below Hong Kong Stars. Liv Bourrie was able to take down one of those 6 max matches, obviously, last week. She didn't do so great in the first 6 max match, but she did well in the second one. And as we know, Rome Emperors had their very first win last week. Max Pescatori stepped in. He's the manager of his side, and he was able to win some much needed points and get them their very first win. So congratulations to the Rome Emperors for doing that. Let's take a look now at the Americas standings and see how those teams are doing. We know New York Rounders are at the top. There's not so much difference in the points here, as you can see, between San Francisco Rush in 6th and New York Rounders in 1st, just 10 points separating. So really anything can happen this week. Tyler Kenny winning one of those 6 max matches for the New York Rounders last week. We've got the Sao Paulo Mets, who have done brilliantly in the last week. They've really come on, scoring lots and lots of points for Andrea Kari's side. We saw Thiago Nishiyama win one of his heads-up matches, and we also saw lots of action from Felipe Ramos, who seemed to be getting in the heads-up with Tyler Kenny nearly every single time they play. Montreal Nationals at 51 points. Marc-Andre Ladouceur played for his side last week. He played really well, but was only able to pick up 3 points. Los Angeles Sunset, obviously we've seen a lot of Olivier Bousquet playing heads-up, and they are tied on 51 points. In 3rd with Montreal, in 4th as well. Las Vegas Moneymakers there with 50 points, so just 1 point behind LA Sunset. It is so close here. We've got Scott Ball and Duhamel playing for them today. And then, of course, San Francisco Rush still somehow right at the bottom, but only by 1 point after Tony Gregg last week was able to come back and win his 6 max match after quite a disappointing start in week 1 and not being able to pick up any points for his side. Right, we're going to see if Eric is there on Skype. Are you there, my correspondent? I'm missing you on the sofa, my friend.
Hello, Laura. How are things? I hope you're living fine without me.
No, we miss you. Come back.
Laura, we're through 5 weeks already in the season, so it's really starting to go fast. 5 weeks in, that means every single team in their conferences played heads-up matchups. One stat that I'm really in love with is total points efficiency, which looks at the amount of points a player is collecting compared to the points that are available to them. And it's pretty exciting to see that some players in particular are really taking advantage of this statistic. If we take a look in the Eurasia conference for total points efficiency, Jeff Gross leads the way for the Berlin Bears, obviously. 3 matches played. He scored 74% of the points that were available to him. Good job on Jeff Gross for that. Nanonoko is currently in 2nd place, Hong Kong Star, of course. After 4 matches, a 67% efficiency rate. Very efficient for him. Anatoly Filatov, we get to see him play next. Really excited to see Anatoly back in the ring. After 4 matches, he sits at 65%. Dominic Nietzsche from the Berlin Bears, obviously after 3 matches, 65% as well. And Vladimir Chorinovsky of Moscow and Alexandre Luneau of the Paris Aviators are tied at 61%. What's really amazing about this stat, Laura, is that both Gross and Nietzsche, they're in the top 4. And literally, they've scored 32 of that team. The Berlin Bears, 41 points. That's almost 80% of the points scored by 2 players. And on the flip side, Bill Perkins and Jungle Man sit near the bottom of that efficiency rating. 35 players qualify. Perkins is 30th and 35th place right now for the Jungle Man. So it's even worse than we thought for the Jungle. The good news for the Berlin Bears, of course, is that their 1st-round pick, Brian Rast, starts today, and their 2nd-round pick, Sorel Mitzi, has yet to play. So a little silver lining for the team, and maybe a little fun stat that I could leave you with here. The Berlin Bears at 41 points. Olivier Bousquet has 8 points. So if Bousquet had his own team, and he was the only player on his team, he'd be 8 points off of a Berlin Bears 5th place in the Eurasia Conference.
That's why we love you, Eric. You are such a stats man. And that total point efficiency, that was a really good one. Thanks.
Thanks, Laura.
Eric Danny there joining us from the other side of the Atlantic. He is no longer on our sofa. For those of you that were worrying about him not being here, he will still be joining us, don't fear. We hope to have Sam Trickett on the line now as well, who will be kicking things off in the very first Eurasian 6 Max match happening. There he is. Hey Sam, thanks for joining us.
How you doing?
Good. Now, this is your second appearance for the Global Poker League. Tell us first of all about the first one, because have you watched any of that back? Did you see Randy? What did you think to the experience, to the game, and how nervous you actually made him?
Yeah, I watched it back. I was quite eager to watch it actually because there were some interesting hands, and obviously his reaction on Twitter was also quite funny. He didn't feel like he played his best, so I was interested to see what he folded. And also, I made some folds that I wasn't sure if was right at the time, and I was glad to see I played okay. Obviously, ran really well, got the better hands, I think. So it was good fun. I enjoyed it, and I loved how passionate he was about it. It's nice to see people passionate about poker. I remember when I was as passionate about poker as he was, and it's nice.
We're going to get that passion back, though, aren't we, in the GPL? Come on.
Yeah. I like I'm here again. I've been away traveling and. Haven't played as much as I'd liked, but I'm back now for a few weeks and I'll be playing as much as possible.
I was just about to say, we haven't seen that much of you on the poker circuit. I wondered where you had been. What's it like, obviously, playing for some of the biggest cash games in the world and now playing for points and pride?
Yeah, I care more about this than I do the cash game sometimes. I'm very competitive and I hate losing, so it's nice to play against other good players and the elite class poker players and challenge yourself, and it's always a test, and I definitely want to win, and but it's obviously a lot different. There's a lot less on the line in regards to money, but also I've got a big ego as well, so there's a lot on the line for bragging rights too.
You're not alone there as a poker player, I don't think. Tell us what Liv's like as a manager. Have you had much interaction with her? Because Justin Bonomo seemed to think that she gets her whips out if you don't win your match.
Well, I don't know because I haven't lost yet, so I don't know. Liv's cool. I imagine she wants to win more than probably any other manager wants to win because that's what she's like, which is great. That's what you want from a manager, and yeah, there's probably no better person for the job.
We saw a little glimpse into your home last time. We saw your dog. Can you tell us what your dog's name is?
Oh, that was Rolo. I have two dogs, Minnie and Rolo. They're from the same litter.
Oh,
yeah,
what are they?
They're my everything. They're like cross between Yorkshire Terrier and Patterdale. Jack Russell and Patterdale Terrier. And yeah, I love them. I love them like people love their kids. It's not healthy, actually.
Will we get a little glimpse of them today?
They're actually out now. My missus just took them for a walk, so I needed some quiet. But maybe when they come back, I'm sure they'll bounce all over me like normal. And
tell us, we've had a few questions for you. Vince wants to know, how is online heads-up different from live?
I haven't played that much online heads-up, if I'm honest. And I haven't played that much live heads-up, if I'm honest, too. But it's different in the fact that you're looking at a guy. There's different things to look for. I don't really know. It's just, I find it different. It's like I feel like you have to play like optimal when you play heads up online, and you're playing so many more hands and faster and quicker, and you just have to play like GTO optimal and always play well. But when you're playing live, you've got to take other things into consideration. Like, is the guy going to bluff you twice in a row and be able to look at you in the face? You got to take all that meta game and other things into consideration. And I don't like saying too much. I'm always, not as open as the other players in these situations, just because I don't like to give away my thought process. But yeah. That's about as much as I can say. Okay.
Have you played much against these who you're about to battle it out with today?
Honestly, no. I played some with Fabrice because I played with him when I was sponsored. I was sponsored by Titan back in the day. So I played some with him. Mustapha's not playing now. I played a lot with him when we final Partouche. So no, I don't really know too much about any of these players. So it's not the most prepared, and I feel a little bit guilty that I'm not as prepared as I should be. But it's more of a challenge, so it'll be more fun.
And who would you be most fearful of playing heads up out of every single GPL player?
To be honest, I'm not too sure because I haven't played amongst a lot of these new good players. So my opinion's not that valid, but if I could pick one heads-up player I wouldn't want to play against, Jungle Man's always caused me a few problems when we've played in the past. He just plays well, and I think it'd be a difficult opponent.
I think every time I've asked someone that question, it's been the same answer, Jungle Man.
He's the first player that springs to mind, which is, that's probably why.
You don't know what to expect, do you? One last question from Dan. What's it like living in Chris Lye's shadow?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how everyone knows about my relationship with Chris Lye. It's like it's a famous thing almost. Yeah, we're constantly battling, we're constantly competing. We always have since we've known each other. We're like a married couple, always arguing. You wouldn't think we was friends if you met us. It's good fun. He's good. He's a good guy to be around.
All right. Thanks so much for chatting with us. Best of luck in this 6max game that's about to kick off. Thanks, Sam.
All right. Thank you. See you.
See you. Sam Trickett there for the London Royals. He is about to start play any second now. We are going to head over to our commentary desk and get this game kicked off. Over to you, boys.
There's no more Mustapha Kanit.
Yeah,
we have a substitution, guys.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Sad news, especially when you've grown a moustache, especially in honour of Mustapha Kanit. Max Pescatori is coming in, at least for the first game, to replace Mustapha Kanit. Mustapha may be with us for the second match, but that's big news. And I've got to say, with all due respect to Max Pescatori, not really great news for the Rome Emperors.
No, not the best person to come in. I mean, not to say Max isn't great. He played really well in his heads-up match against Wayne Zhang, but, you know, Mustapha, the Rome Emperors at the bottom of the division. They bring in Rome Emperor Palpatine himself, Max Pescatori. I really like the way he played a couple hands against Wayne Zhang. But Sam Trickett ain't no Wayne Zhang. Brian Rast, the debutante, he ain't no Wayne Zhang.
Well, put it this way. In general, it's good news for the rest of the players. Mustapha Kanit, as we said, you know, no disrespect to
he's the best player in the world.
But this is a man, you know, won a 50K high roller, a 25K high roller on the EPT circuit, chopped a 100K high roller just this last week in Monte Carlo. Really, really a man at the top of the game right now.
Dude, he won the W Coupe main and then the F-Tops main, like back-to-back, like and just for jokes.
We should also say, you know, it's so important to get your first-round draft picks into action as often as possible. Though they're, you know, the top points makers.
He won the million a couple months ago, like for a good time. Like the Sunday million, you know that tournament that like some of you like try to satellite into, and then you play, and then you just like get deep. Maybe you get like 180th and be like, oh, that was my shot. Like Mustapha won it.
Do you want to do a little moan about your shot? How did you do at the weekend? What happened on Monday?
So this guy raised 3x. No, I'm kidding. I ended up getting 45th in the $27 14,000 player field. I was pretty excited about day two. I peaked at around 6 million in chips, you know, from 10,000.
That could have been the return of Flush Entity.
Yeah, I was not going to be here if I won that.
All my jokes about you being a withered, washed up old.
Were pretty much proven when I finally got a stack.
Yeah, I thought you were going to post the big score and have all the bragging rights here on the GPL.
Yeah, no, nothing.
So unfortunately we lose Mustapha Kanit for the first match, but still a really exciting lineup. Let's talk about this debut of Brian Rast for a moment, because, you know, I just said so important to have your first round draft picks in and posting results as often as possible. I mean, even second round draft picks, we've seen the record that Busquets had, Pascal Lafrancois. What can we expect from Brian Rast? Why do you think Philip Grosum, of all the players in the poker universe, plumped for this guy?
Well, because when, you know, he decided to become the manager for the Berlin home games, he thought, you know, this guy is going to become great at the home game. You know, he's a lot of experience. You know, he'll be able to be sort of that camaraderie of, like, you know, really successful guys with Bill Perkins and, like, I can crash on his couch. No, Brian Rast, one of the legends of the game. I mean, you talked about a bit about, you know, when I say one of the legends, sort of maybe of the last 3, 4, 5 years. I don't want to throw that legend word around. I mean, like, you can say like, you know, Shagwar in Counter-Strike, like that guy's a legend because, like, he's still relevant like 10, 12 years from now. but or go rather. So, but a legend of the game, a little strong, but one of the best, most accomplished players.
But we're
in the
going to learn
GPL.
a lot about Brian Rast today,
sure.
and also exciting that Sam Tricket. You know, I think it's so great when you've got a team member who's got this flexibility, willing to play the heads-up match, put 6 points on the board against Randy Liu, now being put into action in the 6-max format. You know, when you've got players who can operate in both disciplines, that's really, really good, because as we've seen, as the months go on, there are going to be selection problems. People have availability issues, and having people that, you know, that are willing to cover all the bases. Massive lad, Sam Tricket, as we saw in the interview, and you know, going to be very, very competitive in this format.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to head to the match right about now, so I think everyone's ready to go. Who's on the camera? They never tell us. They let us be surprised. Come on. That's Rast. Oh, Tricket and the beautiful Celina Lynn ready to go. She looks... Brian Rast is currently sitting out with the 10-6 of hearts.
Probably would have come in for a race. He'll be fuming.
Yeah,
He'll be like,
exactly. You know, I actually I played the 109 heads up yesterday on PokerStars, and a reg I was playing was sitting out for the first 5 minutes, and guess who sat right back out and just folded back and forth? This guy.
Yeah, but please.
I'm the kind of guy.
If
you're playing me for $100 on PokerStars, and I kind of know who you are, I'll sit out so you don't make it 2 plus 2 pred. Jareth.
Oh, right, yeah. He's
a British guy.
Obviously, you've got to be nice to the UK guys, otherwise we'll come after you as a pack.
Oh, and then I tried to bluff him right away, and I bluffed up my whole stack because I'm like, oh, he's never going to think I'm going to bluff him. I'm such an honest guy, but not true.
Yeah, but we're not encouraging these guys to sit out. Please, Celina,
by the way, I have a theory. I think Brian Rast is probably sitting out because his teammate, Sorel Mizzi, is beating the shit out of him. Because they had a fight. They had an MMA fight where Brian Rast went down pretty quickly and hard. So maybe Sorel just went for round 2, and they're in the cage right now.
And
what do you think of that theory? You're not much for the fighting game?
Mate, Sam Tricket, he's wise, though. He knows Brian Rast sitting out, coming in for the race.
Yeah, those 7s are going right in the muck.
And
unbelievable. Brian Rast folding in the big blind for just 2 additional bigs with pocket 7s. Clearly is not in tune with the set mining odds within poker. Very disappointing to see from someone that we thought we were expecting a lot of good things from.
Brian Rast with the tight strategy from the early doors, respecting the raise of Sam Tricket.
For sure, yeah. I mean, obviously Sam Tricket, a real legend of the game. You got to let go of the 7s every once in a while.
As I was saying, Sam Tricket, top boy of UK poker. Got that swagger about him, got that confidence, that brashness. As he said, really interesting, you know, he's saying how competitive he is in this kind of area. And I think that really is key. You know, he will want to win for the London Rules.
I have actually just been informed by our team that Rast has fallen off the face of the earth, and no bear could replace him in time. So as per GPL rules, he's registered and is sitting out. So not optimal. But
it's
completely the Bears' fault. Obviously, they're having some sort of home game. If he does show up, if there is a replacement spin for match 2, we will let you know. But for now, the Berlin Bears clearly running a home game on Tuesday night, not realizing that the GPL is happening right now.
Yeah, that's pretty poor from
poor form.
Poor form from the
I mean, at least when the the Hong Kong Stars and the London Royals, they show up when they have other things to do.
So let's talk about this for a moment. So a couple of interesting things. Really going to alter the dynamic. First of all, there's a big blind up for grabs each and every orbit. Second of all, Max Pescatori in a very favourable position of having 2 buttons each and every orbit, gets to play in position, and still the blinds more frequently from that position in general is going to be his strategy. So big advantage for Max Pescatori. Other additional factors is what a disaster if you get in a big pot and bust before someone that is sitting out.
Yeah.
It's really, really going to affect the dynamic in 3-bet pots or in spots where these guys put themselves in
Fabrice Soulier, he just booked a quick flight to the USA to let Brian know that he's sitting out. Hopefully he'll be back within the next 11 minutes when his time runs out. This is obviously a joke because Fabrice has been waiting for a minute. Perhaps maybe they're waiting for Rast. It's like a fair play thing. Oh, no, he just is deciding whether or not to open.
I'm going to defend the 4-5. I was suiting a small blind there.
Oh, we've just been informed that Brian Rast is, in fact, about to show up. It was just a matter of being fashionably late.
Oh, right. Okay. It's a good job we didn't slag him off too
hard.
We were about to go to town on him.
I mean, we're already kind of on our way. That 7s fold was absolutely abysmal.
And Sam Tricket flopping a strong top pair. Fabrice Soulier does continuation bet on a board where he has a stronger range and more nut combos. Definitely don't mind this continuation bet.
By the way, if Mustapha Kanit doesn't make it back by match 3, I'm shaving the mustache.
And Sam Trickett, this you won't see from many tournament players, but confident that the King-Queen is enough ahead of Fabrice Soulier's range to continuation bet that he can check raise there.
For value.
Yeah, in general, you'll see people pick a more polarized strategy there to check raise. A lot of tournament players will just call to protect their check calling range. But Sam Trickett, a guy that plays the high stakes cash games in the world, check raising for value. Really interesting to see, and a sign of Trickett's confidence and class in this kind of format.
Some classfidence, if you will.
How is that not a word?
I don't know. I mean,
probably is in German.
It is now.
They do that kind of stuff. So, interesting flop. Max Pescatori flopping second pair and the backdoor flush draw. Sam Trickett up and down straight draw and actually has the best hand at the moment. And Fabrice Soulier with a little something, a nutter gutter, if you will. And also, we could see the 9 of hearts on the turn, which would give straight nut flush draw and set. And that's the card we're calling for.
Yeah, come on. If the GPL is at all
to a check raise,
committed to making hands interesting, the 9 of hearts.
Difficult for him to continue. 9 of diamonds, yeah. Got enough equity to call. Max is pretty strong c-bet though. Yeah, I'm just going to call.
Sam recognizing.
Don't expect him to c-bet this every time.
There we go.
Into 2 players, so decided the check raise wasn't too good. Bad card for me.
Brilliant card from Mr. Pescatori.
And Fabrice Soulier does improve to a double gut shot now.
But that kind of sizing, we could see 2 folds, but Fabrice getting more equity here.
I'm going to go ahead with my original read that it was a pretty strong c-bet into 2 guys. He could have some draws, but even that plays well against my hand, so I don't think I can call.
Both players folding.
Yeah. Difficult bluff. Even though the ace was the best card for him to bluff, but I'll go back on my first read that he wouldn't c-bet every time on that board.
Alright, I'm gonna just fold 5-9 suited. Yes, it's 2 suited cards, but it's still a very bad hand.
So one of the things that I think is interesting immediately you can see with Sam Trickett is this kind of small ball tournament style is not his bag. You know, coming in for 3x raises, check raising, you know, 1 pair second kicker, nearly check raise the pocket nines.
I guess under the gun raise
well.
here, I'm not gonna call with a7's offsuit. I think it's folded to me. I'll probably be raising that up, so I'm just gonna go let it go. And for the guys on Twitch, hey guys.
Celina Lynn not playing a7 off under the gun 1. Brian Rast is in the house.
Open the 5-6 suited. Pretty bad flop for Brian's hand. Also, given the kind of hands that Anatoly Filatov will have, they'll be all over this texture. So hard for Brian to continue.
Yeah, Brian Rast in the mixer. We can sack whatever producer told us that he wouldn't be here, hey?
Yeah.
Is that Max Rabinovich again?
Yep.
When are we gonna lose him? He's
the first one
he's
out
dead
the door.
weight.
Yeah.
Dead weight for season 2. And at this point, Brian Rast, yeah, subtle way to play the hand, checking back, flop and turn, saving his stab until the river. Anatoly obviously with a weak range at this point. And gets the job done. And as you'd like to say, Griff, some playable hands here. Fabrice Soulier with pocket sevens. Anatoly Filatov with 9-10 suited on the button. A hand you could either flat or 3-bet in this spot. Does elect to take it to a flop. And now the squeeze opportunity passes to Max Pescatori. I'd love to see him attack with these blockers. Obviously, a call is fine as well, but I think it's a good spot with the offsuit combo.
Yeah, what's great about these 3 hands, too, is that based on his sizing, we might see 3 ways to a flop in a 3-bet pot, which is always fun to see. His sizing, just a little over 3.5x. Should be interesting to see whether Fabrice decides to peel. And then Anatoly's probably going to peel. Sorry for predicting, Sam. I know you hate when I do that. But we're going to see a flop 3 ways. And that is Action Jackson.
Come on, check. A check now, Max.
Come on, bruv. It's a check. You know
it's a check here, bruv. Yes, very good. Great stuff from Max Pescatori. Does check. And Anatoly Filatov on the button, flopping a very vulnerable 2-pair. Selects a half-pot C-bet. Perhaps could have gone slightly bigger than that, given the nature of the board and his actual hand. But Max Pescatori obviously obligated to call with the top pair and the gut shot. And Anatoly Filatov with pot behind. And fars again. And this street, very tricky now for Max Pescatori. This bet looks very strong. Indeed, so hard to be bluffing against the kind of hands that Max is check calling here.
Yeah, I think Max should. It's tough to fold in this spot, certainly, given his equity.
And great river for Anatoly's actual hand, improving to a full house. And he's going to look very polarized when he jams this river. Obviously repping sort of king jack and full houses, of which he doesn't have too many. Obviously you can see there's only one 9-10 suited combo available. 2 queen-10 suited combos, if indeed he jammed that when the board pairs. And Max Pescatori in a horrible spot. Would love to see him find the fold, though. Think Anatoly's bluff's just going to be basically ace-jack, yeah? It's the only hand.
That's what I was going to say.
And you've got to be so confident to bet ace-jack on this river, giving your opponent 3-1.
Yeah. I mean, the river would be might be a good card. You might have half a mind to call with the river, giving that queen 10 gets counterfeited if you have aces or kings. But because Max is just sitting there with king queen, got to find a fold here. I mean, it's an incredibly difficult fold to make on the turn for just 6,000 into 15K, but you're in trouble. You're running into a lot of pocket 10s, pocket 9s, 9-10 suited, some king jacks.
Yeah, I mean,
tough with the king blocker.
I think it's likely he would 3-bet 10s, but quad 9s is our combo. I just think
tough, yeah.
Anatoly can't fire 3 times there.
No.
So, Anatoly Filatov, the manager of the Moscow Wolverines, off to a great start. Someone that's registered already an incredible 21 points in the GPL. If you bear in mind the Rome Emperors only have 41 across the team, for an individual player to have registered 21, right up there in the standings, in the MVP standings.
Yeah, we saw that big hand brewed between 3 of those guys, and Anatoly came on top. Here I'm going to defend in a small blind with my suited connector, and I'm going to see a flop.
Yeah, I think you're going to defend in the big blind.
Okay, with an ace on board, I'm just going to check. We got a gut shot and backdoor flush draw. So we're hoping for a 2 on the turn, but I don't know if we're going to be able to see the turn.
I'm not going to see bet this one, just because from when I've played with this guy before, he's really sticky. It's a pretty easy flow. It's a difficult barrel for me when he calls too, so I expect him to call here. A lot of the time it'll be difficult for me, and I'm looking to play a little bit of a low variance style at the minute.
Just let this go.
Try and get some points. 0 in this is pretty bad.
Sam Tricket, so controlled
calling here isn't too bad, but like I said before, this guy's really tough out of position, so that's why I decided not to continue with the hand.
A little history, mate.
Yeah, but also like it, no backdoors. There's no need to over continuation bet. Perfectly acceptable in the modern game to just check fold. And in this case, what a decision. Anatoly Filatov absolutely banged that flop with a set of 8s. You know, and saving chips is the same as winning them. Nice play from Sam Trickett. I'm turning into a little bit of a Sam Trickett fanboy. Is he working on you?
I mean, I was already there, kid.
He's funny. He's English.
Just you're welcome to join me, but I was already there.
You're already there.
Yeah.
He's good at poker.
I was a huge fanboy of Trickett. Had a great time with him actually once when we went
Here we go, guys.
Dinner. No, I'm kidding.
Griffin Benja's story
no, I
time.
played the 25K in Monaco with him a few years ago, and I had a great time chatting with him.
Wow, 25K.
Oh yeah, buddy.
And
back when I used to have
the
money.
All the money.
All the money. No, I was.
No, he's great fun at the table, by the way.
8-5 offsuit here.
People that play live cash games in general have a very easygoing demeanor at the table. That's part of the skill set required.
Can I just say, by the way, they really know how to pick the right people for the camera. I mean, these are really two very pretty people. I mean, Sam is an absolute stud.
Are you talking about you and me?
Huh? Yeah, of course. But also, Sam Trickett, absolute stud. Celina Lynn, beautiful. Love the necklace. Just good-looking people in the Global Poker League that we feature because we are just completely biased towards the attractive. I mean, I can't even think of one ugly person in the whole league, to be honest with you.
And Sam Trickett, top pair in a gut shot, makes the bet and takes it down.
By the way, this all sounds way creepier when they see me on camera with the mustache. That's why I'm getting it out of my system now, because if I was on the cam
you look like a police officer.
Yeah, well, you are under arrest.
Detective Benja. And Max Pescatori with pocket 5s. Obviously, these sort of hands, so unappetizing at a tough table.
Unless you have ace-queen on the button and you're hungry, Sam Trickett.
It's just
going to continue.
So difficult when you're getting flattered by a player of Trickett's abilities on the button.
At least we didn't get a UTG1 ace 7 off
Do you think
speech.
it would be ridiculous to fold pocket 5s there?
No.
I actually don't think it would be. But boom,
I think that
another set.
You know what I think?
Pescatori nails this board.
You know what I really think, though? I think that Celina Lynn, he assumes that Celina Lynn isn't going to be 3-betting too light. Brian Rast is going to be under the gun 1. And then Trickett's way more of like a flatter. So I think it's like a situation like we have here where, if he were to flop something like this, he could really get back into this match.
And Sam Trickett feels obligated to peel, understandably. Sometimes he can't have the best hand on this board. Also has a nutter gutter. I've never used that phrase, but
which is insane.
Now in the GPL,
well, how else? The question is.
So Max Pescatori, pretty dynamic board. A lot of straight draws. Obviously, the flush draw. Probably no need
Filatov
to
a little behind.
Slow play in any way. Gonna fire again.
Well, when it comes to getting the
value
thing is,
and protection.
Can I just say something? The thing is, like, in order to get the butter, sometimes you got to hit the nut or gutter.
And Anatoly,
did I stutter?
You see the class of these players, recognizing the strength of Pescatori's double barrel. Doesn't even think folds the top pair.
Today. Big garbage. Did we see a picture card? Barely, I don't think.
Picture card.
Selina Lynn loves a good mo.
Alright, let's just keep playing tight. Tight is right.
Certainly is, Selina. So Brian Rast opened the 4-5 suited, understandably now opening the pocket 4s.
Guys, you should really check out globalpokerleague.com because there's a one-question survey. We want as much feedback as possible from you guys. That's something that we want to start doing here at the GPL. So please go answer the question. I have no idea what it was. That's not what they pay me for. But it'll be fun to see all your answers later. As soon as
it's not a question about us, is it?
I certainly hope not. Maybe it's about my mustache.
Yeah, is that why that?
Speaking of mustache, by the way, the reason that Mustapha Kanit wasn't able to make the first match, his car broke down on the way to.
Oh, come on, that's not believable.
Yeah, no,
I've used that lyric before when I've had.
No, to be clear, it was his car in Mario Kart because he's Wario from the popular Nintendo game Mario Kart. But his Mario Kart did break down on the way to play this match because he lives in a cartoon
with a loose
video game world.
To the 2.5x queen.
He is a cartoon character.
5 off. Neither player hitting the board. And Fabrice does check back and allows Rast to turn considerable equity. It's probably one of the best cards he could see, apart from actually making a pair. And he will fire and pick up the pot. Sam Trickett, with the tight fold under the gun, suggested he was going to play a reasonably inline style. And obviously in this instance, a very good fold because Fabrice with a premium just behind him. Just to remind people, we said
Alright, not defending against this raise here with 7-4 offsuit.
Just to remind people, we do have 3 managers in the mix here. Max Pescatori, manager of the Rome Emperors. Fabrice Soulier, manager of top of the table Paris Aviators.
Mamma mia!
And Celina Lin on the right-hand side of your screen, manager of the Hong Kong Stars.
This is close, but I know Brian opens so wide on the bottom.
Guys, do you like voting on things? Go to globalpokerleague.com. We have a question up there for you. Please vote when you get the chance. Without, with that whole thing, it's just one vote. It doesn't count. It certainly counts when, there's only going to be at 100 or 200, maybe 1,000 of you. So get in there. Get your voice heard. I might even look up what the question is.
Sam Trickett check calling 2 pair, and Brian Rast turns a card he may well feel obligated to barrel on. Sam Trickett going to have a lot weaker hands than this in his range, and he's turned the nut flush draw, Brian Rast.
How close is he to the butter?
And
what does he need
bars
to hit?
Again. Sam Trickett with a decision now to weigh up whether he lets Brian continue to barrel with air. Does just call. And this may save Brian Rast because he has a hand now that can win at showdown. I would imagine that a bet is too thin. And he does check back, and a nice pot for Sam Trickett. Obviously, interesting that Tricket indicates there is a decent amount of history between these guys. Probably do have played together in high rollers and obviously the one drops and such like at the World Series of Poker.
Absolutely. I've done a little. Actually, I'm not going to start talking because Celina is definitely going to play this hand, or at least talk about why she's folding it. No, I imagine she will be opening this at the cutoff, assuming Max ditches his ace rag. Bada was sold at Celina. Here we go. And she talks.
Alright, I'm gonna raise it up here with the best hand I've seen so far. Ace-3 suited.
Love a good suited wheel draw here at the GPL.
Not as much as the 816 level, but certainly one of our favorite things here. Guys, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, so in the morning for you West Coast US guys, 12 p.m. Eastern, lunchtime, Toronto, or 6 p.m. Central European time, work time for Sam and I. It is the match between Nananoko versus Abanamomo. It's going to be a good one. The Hong Kong Stars heads-up master against one of the best players in the league in Justin Bonomo. Check it out.
Griffin Benja, you just constantly amusing me. And Anatoly Filatov raising 3x blind on blind, and Max Pescatori 3-betting the king-queen suited in position.
Loving it.
And
well, he's willing to call off at least. But.
Filatov now has a decision. I think against a lot of players this would be a 4-bet. And in fact, he does jam the ace-jack. And Max Pescatori in a real difficult spot here. You'd imagine this is one of the worst hands he's going to 3-bet
for value.
For value, and very, very difficult. The only argument for flatting King Queen suited
so
in
you
this
don't have
spot
to fold this,
is so that you don't face this kind of decision. And he does release Anatoly Filatov's aggressive style, paying dividends in this spot.
If you guys are interested to learn how Mustapha Kanit would not have played a hand, please refer to that one right there. Taking nothing away from Max. He played great in his heads match the other day, but not having a plan.
Well, it's really interesting because at 200, 400, it seems off-key to call off that many big blinds. But
Right.
look,
So
we've immediately gone up to 300, 600, the next level, at which point he actually only has 20 big blinds.
Exactly.
So I think, like,
I mean,
especially against Anatoly, I think it's very
Who's going to have pairs and ace rags there that, you know, you're very rarely is he going to have him dominated. But
Anatoly, with all due respect, could punt as well.
Really?
Okay, I feel like he's got it in his locker.
No, I don't think he has the I don't think he has the 3x punt. You know, the 3x then 4-bet punt.
Yeah.
So I think he's way more value hands, but just like.
So Brian Rast leading out with trip 8s now, and difficult spot for Anatoly. Has bottom pair. Obviously, you know, if you're a bit newer to poker, might seem like pretty flimsy holdings here, but Brian Rast is going to call on this board with Jack 9, Queen 9, 9, 7, Queen Jack. Plenty of hands that you're ahead of. Particularly with a 9 blocker in your hand, perhaps you could find a reason to fold there on the turn. Hard to make a pair though, of course. And Brian Rast is all in. And Anatoly quickly folds. Getting to the river with the bottom of his range, almost certainly. And with some ace-x of diamonds and such like as well to get to that river with. Finds an easy fold with the 9-3.
Not a defending hand. Gonna just go ahead and fold.
Tricket told us that Brian Rast does open very wide from the button, so you'd imagine we'll see an raise
Brian here, I'm gonna go with a 3-bet. Now we've seen his range being pretty wide even under the gun with 5-6 suited. So I'm pretty happy 3-betting him with 9s and probably get it in versus him.
Yeah, good adjustment from Celina. Probably might have 3-bet the 9s against anyone, but recognizing...
Now Anatoly's going to be the boss here. We'll let him do that for a bit with a chip lead.
Recognizing that Brian Rast is playing a looser strategy than some players would, and thusly making the 9s an even more mandatory 3-bet. And Anatoly with King 8 suited, likely to defend here. And actually goes.
Now we know Anatoly likes to
3-bet.
put a lot of pressure due to the fact that you know, bottom place gets 0 points. Here with Queen 10 suited, I could opt to see a flop with him. I'm definitely not shoving all in here. I could fold and try to maintain my stack. It's probably not necessary. It is, you know, 2,500 to call. I'm just gonna give it up.
Anatoly Filatov getting out of line with the King 8, exerting pressure on Celina Lin, and she does back down.
You're out of line, Anatoly. You're a liability.
Tempted to open with ace-3 suited here, but don't really like my spot on the table. I still feel like the position is a little bit early. I mean, it is very different when you have, you know, standard players playing, but when you have these guys playing, I think that, you know, the ranges that you choose to play against them should be a little bit different. It should be adjusted, that's for sure.
And Pescatori flopping very strongly here with the King Jack.
This guy's just so random. Confuses me in every pot. I could call. It's difficult for him to bluff again, but I don't know. Just feels like he has it.
Tricket with the
He's so
world-class
squeaky there.
instincts here.
No, I'll let him have this one. I could have called. If it had raised a little bit bigger, I more likely would have called. I didn't really like the absolute min raise. It's almost like he was giving me too good of a price to float. So I decided to fold.
Title of Sam
If it made
Trickett's
it a
first
little
book,
bit more, I'd
The
be more
Absolute.
inclined to float in. Stacks get shorter, it's more difficult for him, but with the min raise, he can even get another tiny barrel out there, and it's difficult for me. But never know what to do with that min raise. It's very unusual these days. King 7-2 rainbow.
For all you extremely new to poker, rainbow means that there are 3 different suits on the board, on the flop. And rainbow is also a thing in the sky that is very beautiful.
For those of you who are new to physics and the outside world, rainbow is a thing in the sky.
And if you're also familiar, it is also a terribly terrible tattoo that a friend of ours got.
And Max Pescatori picking up a monstrous hand on the button. Ace, king of clubs. And shoves all in.
This is tough. Under the gun raised. This is, I think, right on the line. If I'd have raised a little bit later, I've been more inclined to call. But I've raised under the gun. He's flattered. I mean, he's jamming a lot of pairs too, but this guy's just so loose. This is really difficult. It's right on the line.
Tricket in a tough spot.
26 and a half big blind shove here. He knows he's flipping against a bunch of hands, but it's also dominated by the ace queens and ace kings. If Sam had certainly seen the king queen fold, I think he would be more inclined to let this go.
All right, because I raised under the gun, I'm going to fold.
Yeah.
If I'd raised a little later, I'd be more inclined to call.
Great fold from Sam Tricket. We can
Even
see he was
his flat's
dominated.
pretty strong when I raised under the gun. So he's pretty 2 good hands there raising. Be pretty an erratic jam, but wouldn't surprise me at all if this guy did jam ace 9 suited, ace 8 suited. I don't know how in depth he thinks.
8-5 suited here. I think as the big blind, I would definitely defend, but as a small blind, I'm just going to let it go.
Celina Lin, always fulsome with her thoughts on each and every spot. And Sam Tricket now with a very strong hand in the big blind and we're led to believe there's already some history between these two guys. Brian Rast going to feel like ace-jack well ahead of his opening range. I mean, we've seen him raise very wide in the spot. So we can expect some fireworks here. Sam Tricket 3-betting pocket tens to get us started. And Brian Rast seems certain he won't be folding. Question is, does he flat in position? Or does
maybe
he
52 was better, but whatever.
All in for Brian Rast. And this is a big flip for Sam Tricket and Brian Rast.
He's got that. It's a good flop. Takes so long for these cards to come out.
Brick on the turn.
Boom. Lucky.
Tricket holding against Brian Rast in an enormous flip gives Sam Tricket a huge chip lead, and Brian Rast is on the critical list. The first really huge moment of this 6-max encounter. Brian Rast, remember, making his debut at the GPL.
I would have felt really guilty winning that part of Rast before he won the last the big tournament in Vegas. Because I got the quad threes against the nut flush, and I felt really bad about that. It's really guilty. But he smashed me in the last 500.
All right, so we're thinking about Brian Rast here, who's pretty short. And we're actually 13 chips right now. So I guess the chip lead, actually, Anatoly's second chip. I'm going to go ahead and just fold Jack 10 suited here.
Looks like this guy's raising many hands like I thought he would do. Playing the most hands.
Yeah, shame we lost Tricket's anecdote there. Lost forever. And Fabrice with 2 jacks in the big blind, going for what strikes me as a very strong looking 3-bet here. And yeah, Anatoly wise to that, immediately folding.
Follow the conversation, guys, at GPL on Twitter. We will engage with you. We'll talk to you about the matches and the players. I'm Griffin Benger. Sam Squid's the guy who laughs at me all day. Never wants to hang out with me out of the office, but his fake laugh down to a T. Unbelievable as he takes a big swig of water.
I've been folding, so
he's my co-host.
I feel like I'll get a little bit more credit. I know it's not a great hand to do it with, but because I haven't raised for a while, I feel like I'll get a lot of credit.
Cricket field player, loving it.
Yeah.
Hasn't
Fabrice
raised
is
for a
not really
bit.
appealing too much either. He's all in off folding, so gives him a difficult decision.
Sam Tricket playing perfect poker.
Really one of the best live poker players in the world.
Maybe that's why he's so comfortable, mate, because it's kind of like live.
Just a massive lad. That's
You're loving it, eh?
I just love.
You called me a massive lad the other day. I took it as a compliment.
Yeah, obviously that's a huge compliment.
Oh, is it?
You're not a massive lad like Cedric.
No.
He's just top boy, isn't he? Top boy of the UK.
Yeah.
Playing cards for a living, chilling out.
2 beautiful dogs. Beautiful partner. Beautiful home. Beautiful cheekbones.
And
I feel like I'm kind of protected here when I open because Brian's got such a short stack in the big blind, so everyone's going to see what I've got. So I can't really have nothing. So don't feel like I'm going to get 3-bet too much in those spots.
He does get 3-bet, however, by the ace-deuce of Brian Rast, all in for next to nothing. Good flop for Brian.
Rusty out.
A lot of good turns for Tricky Tricket, and that is one of them.
Oh, dirty.
Dirty, dirty boy.
Didn't see that coming. And bad news for everyone else at the table, because obviously if Brian Rast bust, he would have got 0 points.
But not bad news bears, because Brian Rast is back in the game.
And
I think this is closer than people think. With Max on the table as well. She's in the big blind. Celina, though, she's quite tight. So
Queen 6 against Tricket. Tricky.
think Sam Tricket in the position we saw Tony Gregg in last week with the chip lead, with the talent. Probably going to put these guys under it somewhat until the short stack doubles up or busts.
Talent lad McTop boy. Sam Tricket.
I'm gonna just limp core raise here and see a flop with him. I feel like with a big stack, he's probably gonna put a lot of pressure on me. So if I had raised him, he might, you know, shove the flop on me or something. I mean, shove pre-flop, which makes it really hard for me to call with Brian so short. ICM, I guess, right now is pretty important. We really don't want to get 0 points on this one.
She doesn't have many sixes, many twos. She has some tens when she limits.
I think Celina should be check calling here with a heart in her hand.
Maybe they'll fold the turn, so I like to stab here when she checks.
Tricket recognizing this is a board that doesn't hit Celina particularly well. He's got some ways of improving.
But Celina...
For a raise, yeah.
Not entirely recommended here the way that I would play the hand, but it's certainly going to work.
With 2 overcards plus backdoor flush draw, you know, this board isn't...
I think she would have good hands to potentially
Love the
trap
sizing,
me.
though. It looks very strong.
Never played one hand with her before this, but from what I've seen so far, she seems fairly tight. So there's nothing I can really do here.
Than just bleeding out. So yeah, we'll just take down that pot. Puts us back to around even stack.
The lady outlads the lad. Nice hand there from Celina, Sam.
Would have liked to see Tricket float there, given the pot odds.
I'm going to raise it up, yeah.
Given the amount of gut shots and straight draws he turns.
Well, never meet your heroes, bro. They're not perfect. They're
Sam,
fallible.
I mean, obviously easy for me to say here.
Oh, because you can see the cards, can't you?
Yeah, but, you know. Obviously, it's like twice he's folded to an almost exact min raise. And I think like the reason that strategy shouldn't work is because you should never fold. And he has folded equity, but we'll see. And looks like...
I'm going to 3-bet this.
Yeah.
She just won a pot before. She's probably feeling pretty good. She's going to open the button a bit wider. I know my 3-bet doesn't actually look strong, but she's still got to pull the trigger and put it all in.
Great
I'm not looking
pressure point
to
here.
call this see a flop with him with a6 offsuit. I'm really not looking to shove, you know, just in case he does have a hand. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold here. That is definitely going to be the best play in this spot here. He's definitely putting pressure, you know, and it's correct to do so with the chip lead. So I'm just going to go ahead and let him have it.
He just knows I'm full of shit right now. But they don't often do anything about it when people are playing quite tight. Seems too erratic to just go all in there with no answer.
And Brian Rast, the shortest stack, picking up a huge hand when you've just got 6 big blinds.
Go ahead and fold.
And we're going to see a showdown. Take him to showdown, Anatoly.
Anatoly calling with King 10, and on this occasion, in real bad shape.
He showed up late to work, Filatov. He showed up late for work. Send him out of my office. Get out of my office, Brian Rast. You're late for work.
Brian Rast, a man after my own heart. Late to work, but doubling up here.
Back in it.
To 10 big blinds. And as we said, each double up. Real bad news for Celina Lin and Max Pescatori. And indeed Fabrice Soulier, the 3 other short stacks. Just to remind people, the payout, and Fabrice Soulier has shoved all in and will be called by Anatoly. And after that double up from Brian Rast, Fabrice Soulier, a hair's breadth away from being eliminated. He needs a queen. And Fabrice is out for 0 points for the Paris Aviators. Be deeply disappointed. Didn't run good there. Brian Rast surviving, clinging on. And Fabrice Soulier, 3 matches now and only 1 point garnered for his franchise.
Fuming.
Fuming.
Fuming, bud.
Le fuming.
Le fuming.
Le fumeur.
Seriously,
that was
I mean,
Alex.
listen, Fabrice, I know you're listening to me right now. How much are you fuming right now?
And Sam Tricket is not fuming. He is laxed. Great spot for Anatoly Filatov to wake up with the...
But a bad spot for Mr. Pescatori, the late substitution of Mustapha Kanit.
Sam Tricket has been opening at a very high frequency. I would not blame Max Pescatori if he thought ace-10 was the best hand here a huge portion of the time.
And Celina with a bluff.
Oh my goodness, he folded.
No, he didn't.
He's so sick.
Okay,
How
so I
did he
guess
fold?
minimum raise, we're in the big blind with ace-4 offsuit. I probably will see a flop with him.
How did he fold there?
You can't fold there. It's a bad fold. It just is.
Okay.
I don't care
That's
that
not
he
a
was
very
right.
good
It's a bad
flop
fold.
for us.
Can't do it. Not accepting it. I'm not accepting that fold. Max Pescatori, if you are a wizard, please wear a cape of some kind. Reveal thyself. You shall not pass.
No, save that for
You
the Pascal
clearly
broadcast.
look like a pirate, but you are more than that. You are a wizard, a sorcerer in particular.
Let me just say,
I'm looking forward to seeing you in Doctor Strange, the new Marvel movie next year.
Tight is right. That's a sick fold, by the way.
Oh, I'm aware. I just called him a wizard. Do you think I just throw that around? I mean, I gave Todd Brunson a wizard because he literally had
Celina.
the entire...
She has a few kings. She calls for some tens, but so it wasn't always a C, but I think check back might have been slightly better actually. What's this? Okay.
Oh, Mr. Prediction, eh? Please fold. Sam, please. Mr. Tricket, don't be all Sam on Sam here and give him some love. Just let it go, baby. Make him, the one time he makes a prediction, he's wrong.
Yeah, that's quite close. With her, Celina in the big line, I think he's jamming a lot wider, so I'm going to call.
Sam Tricket has him. Brian Rast dominated. Brian Rast improving to 4 out on this flop. Queen, no good. Needs a king. 2-pair doesn't get the job done for Brian Rast. He exits on his GPL debut for 1 point.
Get out of my office, Brian. You were late for work. Don't let your badge and gun kick you on the way out, because I took them both.
He tried the my car broke down excuse as well, but
Did
it
he
didn't
really?
fly with Max Rabinovich. He said it's not on Rast.
Not much
I
flies
don't
with
care
You know,
that you were up all night.
Seems pretty tight, but
interesting. Can I just say, at the first one drop where Sam finished second,
in a format like
Rast
this, I think
finished sixth, and Tricket eliminated him when Rast flopped the nut flush, the ace high
He said that
flush,
if you were following the broadcast.
and rivered the quad threes.
Yeah, Tricket.
So no, but it's interesting that that's just what happened there. I mean, like, listen, I don't want to pick favorites here, but this is pretty important. So incredible dynamic between these two.
And Max Pescatori, with a decision in the big blind, had Filatov or Tricket shoved in this position, I think Pescatori would be calling. A lot closer against Celina Lin, who is employing a much
it's a strong hand, but by shoving
strategy.
it also allows, I would think, maybe against these guys it might even look weaker, so I'm happy with just shoving. At the same time, I don't really... okay, so we get called by ace-9 here. What does this happen?
Max
Come on.
Pescatori.
Hashtag fuming.
Not again. Not like this. Not like this.
Amazing
not like
Matrix
this.
Matrix
Come on,
reference.
King. Seriously? Oh my goodness. Well, how many times does this have to happen to me on GPL, guys? Seriously.
Just twice so far, but it does feel like a lot. I know you've only played 2 times.
And Celina Lin distraught
Lin.
there. Max Pescatori getting very fortunate against
Alright, let's triple up here.
the
Quadruple up.
Hong Kong Stars manager.
Celina.
On manager violence there.
Yeah, Celina already, as you can see on Skype, looking for a counselor to deal with the bad beats.
Bit unnecessary jam there, I think, from Anatoly. I think like
That it was
Max is going to play pretty honestly against a 3x. I think bit of in a high stakes tournament you need to jam there, but or you can
4 and she's out the door. Doesn't come.
There you go, Celina. What are you complaining about?
Yeah,
You're running pure.
Yeah, I mean, come
running
on. You're
pure.
only as good as your last hand, and you just won.
Yeah, you're so lucky. You had him dominated
Yeah.
and held.
Time and counseling heals all wounds, okay? He'll be fine. Pretty brutal, though, for Celina. All kidding aside, since it feels like that's all we do here at the GPL sometimes. That was a rough one for Celina. She has run
second
pretty
time
poorly.
that she's been outdrawn in a crucial spot.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, ace 6 against
With our
ace
small
king.
blind in there, let's go.
Sam Trickett gonna opt to double down here.
Okay, we're ahead.
Monkey.
Ahead. Oh no! Come on, Jack 9. Jack 9. Jack 9.
Badum.
Yay! Great river there. Great river.
On the
All right,
river.
we double up again.
Celina Lin mounting a comeback back to 5 big blinds.
When we talked about the other day, we have not seen any one big blind comebacks here at the Global Poker League. It looks like that will probably not happen because she only has 5 so far, but she's on her way, Sam. She is on her way. Also on his way, Mustapha Kanit, who is in the middle of fixing his car problems, and he should be here for round 2.
Mechanic Mustapha.
Mechanic Kanit.
And I'd love to see a shove here from Celina because I don't think...
You know what? I think I'm going to shove here.
Yeah. We could see against the actual hands, great spot. And also...
I like a shove there.
I think shoving while you've got some fold equity is absolutely crucial. And she is hanging on. Anatoly, with the covering stack, probably going to look to apply some pressure with the ace-3 off. This time does come in for the raise.
I'm going to fold this.
So, if you're joining us late, this is the first of 4 6-max matches that we have for you today.
Yay! All right, slow and steady.
We lost Fabrice Soulier for 0 points and Brian Rast for 1 point. Next out, we'll get 2, then 3, then 5 points for second and 7 points for the win.
Guys, tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, 2:30 Eastern, and 8:30 Central European time, we got the Rastinator, no longer a debutante, against the Moscow Wolverine, Sergei Lebedev.
Go!
Big Lebedev fans, aren't we?
Oh, huge.
We're loving Lebedev.
Huge lad.
Yeah.
Perhaps not top boy, because there's only one top boy, right?
But
how many boys are on top? Just the one?
And Sam Tricket, going to think he's well ahead of Celina's range. In this spot, both have an ace and a queen, and it will run out of chop. Spoilers, no one will be winning this hand. But Celina Lin's run of form continues. Even just picking up the blinds and antes is absolutely crucial at this kind of stack size. And you can see she's back to 10 big blinds.
This is the comeback you are looking for. Mate, she got me a little teary-eyed there with the Matrix reference.
Close to an open eye. Could have nicked it, but too short.
Not like this. Sam.
Max not going to do anything while Celina's that short, so Celina's not going to jam anything, so maybe I could have opened that one. Probably should have done, actually, the more I think about it.
Here we go again, guys.
Celina picking up.
All right, we're back to 10 big blinds.
Jammable hands in good spots and at good moments. Fighting back as a short stack. And Max Pescatore with a tough decision. I think a lot of players would opt to shove here with pocket threes, but Max Pescatore.
Right, this is kind of close. Jack 8 suited.
Max Pescatore with the absolutely terrible fold onto the gun here.
I'm kind of inclined to fold
He is clearly wants to make sure he gets as many points as possible for the both of these spots.
I think Jack 9 I ship, but Jack 8 is kind of borderline here. I'm going to let it go. It's close. I think it's very close. Against regs who can call correctly, with those guys both with a lot of chips,
so much in the small line, so
I think I'm happy folding that there.
Don't think he'd raise too much.
And I wonder if Sam Trickett has seen Anatoly's previous hands in this kind of spot. He did go for it against Jeff Gross in a very similar situation. Seems unlikely Trickett is tuning into the GPL in his spare time, but who knows? But this gut shot is going to be a prompt, I think, for Anatoly to fire again, betting out 3/4 pot, attacking what he presumes to be a capped range here.
So many hands that he's barreling here, draws-wise. Even just random stabs that picked up draws on the turns, like 10-8 and these hands. Queen 10, these hands he'll barrel too. I have a lot of jacks when I limp. If I call again, he's got to give me credit for at least a jack. Limp a lot of jack-eye hands. So I don't expect he will bluff the river every single time once I call the turn. Yeah.
Would have been really interesting if a card other than an ace came off.
Surprisingly, think a little longer on the ace, but it's kind of a brick, I suppose. I'm glad I went ahead and called down the turn. I figured he would give up a lot once I called the turn. Give me credit for like King Jack, Ace Jack, Queen Jack.
Filatov having to make the ICM fold with 10 Jack of Hearts in the small blind. You know, it was really interesting to see, Sam, those two folds that we weren't crazy about by Pescatori and Len, but you have to imagine the pressure that these managers are under. Under the microscope, they are, the leaders of their teams. They really don't want to go out, before the top three. And I think we're seeing that even the most with Max Pescatori and a little bit with Celina, just because she really felt like she was out. This is her new life, her second chance. She wants to hold on to this. So there's a lot of different side of meta reasons why I think Pescatori and It's the Like are making tight folds.
And Sam Trickett would have called either one of these players.
And he might still call. 10 big blind shove total effective.
I think Celina's snap
It is only 10 big blinds to him or up, though.
So... She called so fast. Beautiful.
40% equity is actually in the best
Okay,
shape.
we've got him dominated. Seriously, this is ridiculous, Max. Come on. What the hell?
Not like this.
Oh my god, not like this. Not like this, guys. Not like this. 7?
Yeah, I decided
1,
Max wasn't jamming
another
anything
ace.
there.
Really? And I don't have the 7 of hearts. This is... No! Not like this!
And
oh my god.
Like
By
the
the same
photo in
guy.
Back to the Future, we say goodbye to Celina Lynn.
Goodbye, Celina.
Fades away into the darkness. And we also lose Sam Trickett because those fade away at the same time. And we will eventually get a different person.
So Sam Trickett in a great spot with both.
I earned that raise from all the folds earlier.
Chip stacks in bad shape. They're going to have to play very in line because they can't afford to bust. Like, if Max busts before Anatoly, it's a swing in the favor of the Wolverines.
For the beats 2 in a row.
Max is thinking about a 3-bit.
It's quite sick. Let me see this spot. Sam has advantage now.
Loving Pescatori, as always. What a sick fishing hat.
Yeah. I mean, mate, if you're gonna swim with the sharks, be who you are. Wear the fish hat.
Check twice.
Sorry, fishing.
Max, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Let's try. Maybe he has something like a nice ace jack. So I'm gonna see by betting if he has it or not.
We'll work on this occasion. Pretty optimistic stab in general. Sam Trickett floating their king deuce. Oh, I love it.
Oh my god.
He's so sharp. Representing a hand like 8-6, 7-6, pocket sixes, all hands he may play this well.
I mean, now he's repping the 6, obviously, but, you know, calling on the flop.
Love this. Can use such a subtle sizing on the river.
Yeah, I didn't think he was defending too many 6s. And I figured I'm raising on the bottom with a wider range than he is calling, so I could have more 6s than him. When I call the turn, I just figured he'd give up a lot. So that hand panned out how I hoped it would.
Top form from the top boy in the Global Poker League. Oh, this is a sigh for Sammy. It's a snap with 5s. It's a side call with 4s, probably. What do you do with 3s here, Samuel Grafton?
Yeah, I mean, I do call.
Yeah,
Oh.
so do I.
Pair of 3s, Sam. No.
A lot of
That was
return
close.
cards. Not that
This
one.
wasn't close now.
Good game.
3 3s for
It was brief.
Tricket.
Goodbye, Max Pescatori. And
That's all I
Anatoly
could have done
Filatov,
today, I think.
Fades
But
away.
Who knows?
who has an
Good job, Sam.
unbelievable record in this format, will lock up at least 5 points for the Wolverines. And mouth-watering heads-up prospect here. Anatoly is short with just 15 bigs, but still very much in it. Anatoly, let's remember, already has a first and second in this format, now guaranteeing at least another second-place finish.
Everyone, Moscow Wolverines here.
Here we go.
Anatoly Filatov.
I love it when Anatoly speaks about himself in the third person. It's like literally one of the highlights of the GPL for me.
For sure.
Perhaps.
Here
he is.
Oh, there he is.
But this is turbo game.
That's easy to say now, but I didn't expect him to limp strong the first time. Because we haven't got like a limp game going.
Here we go. All aboard.
So, but now I switch to... Уж подколем, тогда мы будем доминировать его диапазон. С другой стороны, ладно, выставимся.
All in and a call.
Anyway, if I call, I would just bust it here because like, I have a king.
King
and
or
it's
jack
a king on the river
needed.
for Moscow. No,
Doesn't
bust.
get it.
Second place.
Sam
Not bad,
Tricket
not bad.
takes it down.
Ready the
2
second match.
wins from 2 for the London Royal and Top Boy. Great stuff for
Ну что, закончился
the
с
Paris
ХП.
franchise.
Bruv, I'm Sam Tricket. I'm going to take on the Moscow Wolverine. And right away, takes him down. Sam Tricket, London Royals, and Anatoly Filatov from the Moscow
Which one's
Wolverines.
Anatoly in this?
Obviously, he's the Wolverine.
Oh, right. Okay, I see.
Jesus.
Sorry. Yeah, fantastic performance from Sam Tricket. Very much like we saw Tony Gregg do the other week. Got himself in front and then used his big stack to run over the rest of the table. Everyone else having to play very conservative while Brian Rast was short, and Sam Tricket massively capitalized on that. Great to have him on the webcam as well, sharing his thoughts. Obviously, strong fundamentals from Sam Tricket, but little wrinkles that he picked up, that float with the king deuce, recognizing the Filatov isn't going to limp strong the first time. I mean, this is a guy really who ekes out all little bits of EV where other top players wouldn't find them.
Yeah, I mean, you've been using that word massive a lot, which is great for my narrative about him being the Hulk, by the way. But massive lad, massive stack, massive boy, toppest of boys. Sam Tricket really emerging as a superstar in the GPL. He was already a superstar in life, in poker, in pretty much everything that I've heard of him doing. Did you watch that documentary they did following him in the one drop and stuff? He's just a massive lad.
Yeah,
good job for him.
You know, someone that plays the high stakes cash games in the world, now performing on the GPL stage. You know, we've spoken time and time again about how strong the London Royals lineup is. Other people have gone for, you know, celebrities, washed up TV stars. The London Royals picked Sam Tricket and rewarded with 2 wins out of 2 from the English poker player.
Now, here's a question, though. Could Sam Tricket become the first player to ever win back-to-back 6-max matches? 14 points. Is he a favorite to you?
Yeah.
Is there anyone that might come in the second match that's just sort of like, you know, maybe...
Are we guaranteed to have Mustapha for this second match?
I mean, I certainly hope so. I mean, he's still dealing with some car trouble. But if he's here, I mean, that's the ringer you need. Like Pescatore, you played great, man.
The other thing we should talk about is Anatoly Filatov. Here, because Tricket had that big chip advantage, because Rast was short, had to play a little bit more in line. Didn't go quite all cylinders firing. Held back from that river bluff with the Queen 8 when we've seen him go for it before. But this is an incredible performance over 3 matches, 2 second-place finishes, and a first-place. Tyler Kenny-esque performance from the manager of the Wolverines.
Pretty much something I never thought that I would hear you saying week 6 of the GPL. Sam Tricket is playing so well right now and getting so much points. It is almost Tyler Kenny-esque.
Filatov I'm talking about.
Didn't matter who you were talking about. I breezed in and out.
No, Anatoly Filatov doing really, really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they look such a strong franchise. Really, no weak spots across the unit. I mean, they're definitely they're already up there in second position in the league. And I think with performances like this from Filatov, Troinovsky, and others, they're going to be in firm contention when we come around to the playoffs.
Can we talk about again how much? I know you're watching, Fabrice. You're fuming. Because Fabrice Soulier is so competitive and actually so good at poker. One of the best managers, talent-wise, in my opinion, of the 12 teams, and he is just not running good.
Yeah.
Things not going his way.
Well, he never got spot. The one time he picked up a hand, pocket jacks, Filatov had opened under the gun, so the 3-bet from the big blind looked ridiculously strong. Yeah. Filatov didn't have anything. Folded round to him. Rast doubled up twice. Celina Lin picked up spots. The first time he got short in chips in the entire match, picked up the ace-3 in the button, boom, ran into the ace-jack. Yeah. Obviously super disappointing, but,
Is he still in Malta? He doesn't live here, does he? Because if you need to borrow my computer, I can give you one, because I assume you broke yours. So just let me know. We'll take care of you. We're going to do some standings.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, Griff.
Yes. No, what are we going to do? You tell us what we're going to do.
I think that we should go over to the lounge where we've got Laura, and she will tell us where that leaves us in the standings.
Brav, I took you down. I am Anatoly Filatov, the Moscow referee.
Let's go over to the lounge.
Let's go to the lounge.
Thank you so much, boys. Congratulations there to Liv Barry's team, the London Royals, and to Sam Tricket in particular, scoring 7 points now for the London Royals. He's been a great asset to their team, picking up many points for them in just 2 appearances now. And I can inform you that means the London Royals will go up to 3rd place. There you go, Sam Tricket, 7 points there in that last 6 max match. Anatoly Filatov, who's been doing incredibly well. He was one of the top scorers the week before last. He picks up 5 points for the Moscow Wolverines. Max Pescatore, who stepped in for Mustapha Kanit last minute, is picking up 3 points there for his performance. Celina Lin of the Hong Kong Stars, she got a little unlucky and tried to stay up, but it didn't quite work. 2 points coming 4th place. Brian Rast, late to the party and only able to pick up 1 point for the Berlin Bears. And we are certain that Fabrice Soulier will be very disappointed now, coming 6th place and only able to pick up no points. Which means Paris Aviators have lost the lead. That means Moscow Wolverines are now in 1st place in the standings after that first 6 max match. Paris Aviators stay on 65 points now, and of course Moscow Wolverines are up to 69. London Royals, though, with those 7 points that they just picked up, they were able to overtake Hong Kong Stars, who were on 51 points. Now the London Royals have 56 points. So congratulations there to Liv Barry's team and Sam Tricket, as we said. 7 points, incredibly good for them, and they really, really needed that as they were beginning to sink a little bit low in the standings. Let's take a look at the next match, which is coming up. It is our next Eurasian 6 max. Not a lot is changing. We hope to have Mustapha. Do we have Mustapha Kanit? Can anyone tell me? We do. Okay, great. It's starting in 22 minutes time. Sam Tricket will be back, and he will be looking to be the first player ever to take the sweep, to take first place in 2 6 max matches for the evening. Mustapha Kanit will be back. He will be taking the place of Max Pescatore in that first one. Brian Rast hoping to do better for the Berlin Bears than that first performance. Just 1 point he was able to pick up. Fabrice Soulier as well, who has been playing a few times for his team as the manager of Paris Aviators and has failed to get anything going in the way of points. So he really, really will want to pick up some points in this next max next Six Max match, we are sure. Anatoly Filatov back again, and manager Celina Lin for the Hong Kong Stars will be back as well. They are all coming in around 20 minutes time, so make sure to stay with us here at the Global Poker League. Don't forget to head over to the website as well, globalpokerleague.com, because on that website you can take a look at key hands, features, highlights, standings, check out your team, check out the players, check out all of the timings that all of the matches are on, and you can tell us how to improve as well. Tell us how you think that we can improve the stream and what we can do, and we will look at all your notes and we will take them on board. Don't forget to write to us on Twitter as well. Follow us at GPL and use hashtag GPL as well. We will be back very shortly, so join us then for that next Six Max Eurasian Conference match.
Can't get enough of the GPL? Head over to globalpokerleague.com for the most complete and up-to-date standings, schedule, stats, and information on your favorite team, as well as full-length match replays, highlights, and epic hands from all of our matches, and much, much more.
The sunlight begins to fade now, and I feel like I'm losing time, but I don't know how I'm here. The sunlight is turned to gray, and I feel like I'm losing love again. I don't know how I'm here.
Everywhere I go, I get a standing ovation. Speaking the code, my game got no imitation. It's innovation, we taking off like we in a spaceship. You are now experiencing greatness. 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 Yeah, you are now experiencing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let it rock. Come out. Come out. Let it rock. Yeah. 1, 2, this the show shot. So high, keep it cracking like it's the dope spot. Fuck the evil corporation, it's Mr. Robot. Music got 'em moving, now this is a show shot. To lose your constitution, get loose as a wet noodle. Got 'em dancing on the Lancey as fancy as pet poodles. Got 'em downtown swinging like dance, a little fame. Send my enemies back to the essence from which you came. What inspired you? What is it you're trying to do? Somebody told you should probably give it up, they lied to you. Never aspire to the average or the mediocre. Let the greatness inside of you take over. Stockbroker or an activist, a soldier or a pacifist. Life a chain reaction, you a link or you a catalyst. Walk in the house of God, your house of cards starts collapsing. Fashion killer higher than villains and ass. Fuck titles, you provoking a reaction? Are you slow or are you fast, man? Are you smoking or you passing? Are you wishing or you hoping? Are you open for some action? As serious as heart attacks, man? Am I joking? Am I laughing? If you see me cracking, smiling, I got paid tonight. I'm with my A like some mama made a plate of rice. You say you need to dumb it down like that's some great advice. Nah, I'm way too busy showing them what greatness like. Everywhere I go, I get a standing ovation. Speaking the code, my game got no imitation. It's innovation. You are now experiencing greatness. 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 Yeah, you are now experiencing. I'm prepared for the greatness. Spit a flow that'll strip your soul bare and naked. I ain't scared to say shit. Yeah, God is the greatest, no joke. I have my foes going through spiritual anguish, cause I'm clearly his favorite. Never here for the fake show. Staring at these so-called gangsters. The OGs with nothing to play with. This is much more than entertainment. Still get on my Marlon. Walk through the water, so my name is my name.
This is it. This is it. This is it.
Teams representing some of the biggest cities around the world. 72 of the world's most talented poker players with over $350 million in combined lifetime earnings will put everything on the line over 8 months to compete for the title of the first ever GPL World Champions. Which team has what it takes? The Global Poker League starts now.
Hello and welcome back to the Global Poker League this Tuesday evening. I'm Laura Cornelius and we have another amazing 6max match coming up for you from the Eurasian Conference. We've already seen one start today already. Sam Trickett for the London Royals picked that one up and took 7 points for Livbury's side, the London Royals. He was heads up against Anatoly Filatov, who picked up 5 points for the Moscow Wolverines, which meant They are now top of the table. Moscow Wolverines are in first place with 69 points. Clear 4 points of the Paris Aviators, who were unable to pick up any points in that first 6-max match. It was manager Fabrice Soulier playing for them, so we are sure he is going to want to pick up some points now in this second one for his side. London Royals, they're now up to third place in 49 points, thanks to those 7 points from Sam Tricket winning that first 6-max match. Hong Kong Stars now bumped down from third to fourth after Celina Lin there was able to pick up just a few points for the Hong Kong Stars, but she will want to be jumping back and getting more points for her side. Berlin Bears just with 1 point from Brian Rast on 46 points, and the Rome Emperors down there at the bottom of the table with 44 points. London Royals, it says 49 points, but I can assure you they should have 56 points. They are 3 points clear of the Hong Kong Stars. There was just a little typo there. So London Royals in third place. Can Sam Tricket pull the first sweep in 6-max action? We are about to find out. He is back on the tables. Let's go check him out, and let's head over to the commentary team of Griffin Benja and Sam Grafton.
Thanks so much, Laura. Match 2 here. We got a substitution here. Max Pescatori is being replaced by original player Mustapha Kanit. The only reason I grew this thing, because it's Mustapha Day. It is Mustapha Day here at the GPL, and he's here, the #1 overall pick, the best poker player on the planet. You heard it here first. I'm so damn pumped.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. Really a case of 3 big personalities, 3 top players at the table. Anatoly, Filatov, Mustapha Kanit and Sam Tricket. 3 big names, 3 big egos, 3 big superstars.
Yep.
The table's almost not big enough to contain them. Someone has to miss out.
Yeah, Mustapha almost didn't make it even for the second match, but luckily, Alex Dreyfus did contact Mustapha and let him know, you have to get to the match, huh? And he's like, I know, I'm coming. And now they're here.
Yeah,
we're ready here. Match 2. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate it. Mustapha, you're adorable. Let's get the match going.
Yeah, we're excited.
Should I do a full dramatization of their conversation? I don't know. I don't want to get fired.
You swiped Alex Dreyfus's Professor X bobblehead.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Mustapha Kanit. Obviously, you're a huge fan of this guy.
Yes.
Tell us why you like him so much.
Well, he wins everything he touches. He makes everyone laugh. If he's at the table, he's always had a good bit ready. He's always he's very improvisational. I like to think he's like, he's one of us. He's really funny. He's a great character. He's got a great accent. He's extremely good looking.
And Rome Emperors are in need of a bit of drive, a bit of excitement.
They need their Caesar.
They are a franchise that's really struggled.
They need their Caesar, and there's 5 guys that are going to,
and the other
4 guys and a girl that are going to try to knife
another
them
thing
up.
we touch on week after week is how the London Royals were always like, this is the week they're going to kick into a high gear. This is the franchise that we really expected in the Eurasia division to be flying high, top of the table. Haven't fully performed, but Sam Tricket picking up 7 points, looking to close down the gap on the Paris Aviators. If he can put in a performance today, it'd be a big swing in terms of, if Fabrice struggles again and Sam Tricket performs, that gap, will have massively closed between the Paris Aviators and third place London Royals. And that's ominous for the Aviators as a franchise.
Yeah, and I expect Filatov in particular to not get any points in this match because he just wants the Moscow Wolverines to have 69 points because he's a little cheeky guy, Filatov. Huh? Anything? Nothing? Nothing.
And
Filatov from the Wolverines.
I mean, you're out of control today. What has made you so high on?
I just want to see Sam Tricket against. Oh,
so
Jesus.
That's Tricket. That's Filatov.
This is actually one of our workers here. This is our Richards. He's gonna get mad at me. That's Filatov. This is Mustapha, and this is him leading the X-Men into the thing.
Be careful with the bobblehead.
Yeah.
The overall leader, Alex Dreyfus, the Professor X of the thing. But certainly we're
fully working legs, though. I've seen him walk around.
We're expecting an exciting match. As I said, headline names, managers in the mix still. Fabrice Soulier, Celina Lin, not yet got a win in this format.
We got to get one for Celina and Fabrice.
Fabrice
Bustier.
Fabrice
Celina hasn't won. Doesn't win.
And we are off, and we do, as requested.
We have Brian Fast on the left there, obviously fast to bust. There is Mustapha Kanit.
Where is he in a compound in South America? Is he hiding out in Latin America?
I guess so.
He's gone for the Vladimir Chorinovsky, like kind of undercover, on camera, but not really.
And right away, and a pointy Filatov, because all he does is put up points. In for a raise with the 98 off. Mustapha Kanit.
Remember, guys, Mustapha Kanit and Brian Rast, who we're lucky enough to have on camera, both #1 draft picks. And there was a huge dynamic between these guys in the last game, with Tricket having position on Rast. And that dynamic set to continue here as Brian Rast goes in for a 3-bet.
By the way, can I just say, you know, Musta, we can hear your PokerStar sounds happening, so good luck in the Super Tuesday. Yeah. Multi-tabling, always up for a challenge. Can't lose that equity. Mustapha Kanit, one of, if not the best online tournament poker player in the world. Won the Sunday Million a month ago.
When you have a 600% ROI in every tournament,
you kind of have to just, like, you know, not take off the day for the GPLs. And we understand that here. And, you know, Professor X also very understanding. A generous god, we like to call Alex Dreyfus here at the GPL.
Celina Lin coming in for the 3x raise with the ace-5 off. And Mustapha Kanit with a strong hand in the big blind. Just calls against Celina. And it's Celina Lin that does flop best.
Now, I did say the other day, the other match about how, you know, Pescatore misplayed that king-queen suited. We understood the reasons why he decided to 3-bet, but I think the reason, like a guy like Mustapha, and I'm sure he'll tell, you know, Pescatore about spots like that in the future, why you should choose to flat is because you're extremely under-repped with a hand like king-queen. You know, you're going to flop a lot of dominating kings and queens, and if you think that someone like Filatov is willing to shove on you. So a situation like this, Mustapha obviously understanding he is ahead of Celina Lin's range, but he stays under-repped here by deciding to flat.
Interesting that Celina bets again for value here. Very, very thin on the turn. Mustapha Kanit does have some deuces he defenses.
She finally plays a hand, and she's not on the cam to tell us about it.
Yeah, really interesting that she would go for value and protection there, and does pick up the pot. Good start for Celina. Obviously, there was a diamond draw out there to protect from. I think betting twice and checking back is an acceptable line. Fabrice not defending the ace-deuce off. I think there are players who would call there. Especially as we saw Brian Rast playing a very loose strategy in the first match. And this is going to be interesting because Mustapha Kanit with 9-3 off, probably going to fold the button. Fabrice Soulier with ace-queen in the small blind. Can definitely 3-bet here. Does just call and whiffs the board. Strong flop for the pocket tens. No overcards coming. And Sam Tricket checks it back. Really interesting. Such confidence in his game. Checks back the pocket tens. And Fabrice Soulier may be tempted to stab here to get a little protection on the ace-queen high. Doesn't checks, and now Tricket does begin to bet for value. And Fabrice lets it go. Really interesting that Sam checked that back. I'd love, such a shame we don't have him on camera to let us know why.
Also surprising that Fabrice just snap folds the ace-queen high.
I think it's pretty understandable. I mean, Sam's got a decently strong range there.
And with like checking back showdown value, of course.
I mean, Sam can even check back ace-king and then bet for protection. Yeah. Just a situation.
I wonder if he ever, but does he ever check back a hand like maybe ace-jack? And then bet for protection on the turn. I mean, ace queen feels like strong enough to call there.
Sure, but
I mean, we know that he actually had tens, but
yeah, just beating 4 combos
right
isn't. I mean, maybe he opens ace jack off as well, but even then, 16 combos not enough, especially if he's got hands as strong as 10s.
So even though Fabrice Bustier cannot win, he is still playing pretty well.
And Anatoly Filatov does flop decent equity here. 2 overs and a gut shot. Pretty unlikely he'll relinquish. And maybe even thinking about going on the attack. Interesting, because Tricket folded to 2 check raises like
He's not
this,
folding to this one.
in the last match.
I would bet my entire pop vinyl collection of X-Men figurines that he does not fold to this one.
And
well,
Griffin,
I guess better be hitting that dusty trail.
Griffin, you got no clue what's going on. Don't predict.
Mate, come on, mate. You fold the ace. I mean, he's
obviously.
If you guys want to know what the kryptonite is, the tricktonite, if you will, just check min raise him out of position, and he's gonna fold everything.
Yeah, folds like a cheap suit.
Yeah, just like dirty laundry. Clean laundry?
I'm not
Clean
sure.
laundry.
And
mix my metaphors all the time.
Mustapha
Why am I so awkward?
Kanit with a loose-ish open under the gun 1. This is a sort of strategy we've come to expect from one of the most exciting players in the poker world today. In this instance, runs into a big hand. Be interesting to see how he proceeds. Filatov going to have a lot weaker hands here in his 3-bet range than pocket kings, obviously.
Hoping that Musta with the flat.
Taking it to the streets, the hood game.
Just so you know, Mustapha Kanit will take you to showdown more than anyone else.
And
only if he wants you to be there,
And we could see on this occasion, flops just 6% equity. Anatoly Filatov with top boat, bets out. This is a board he's going to continuation bet a whole host of hands on, so does keep the top set in his continuation bet range, and Mustapha Kanit immediately releasing.
As you can see, Mustapha not too engaging with the fans so far. He did just have some car trouble, which can be very, very deterring to, being the enigmatic animated character.
But
also playing like 20 tables of PokerStars.
No, but at least Brian Rast is
yeah. Well, thank God for him. Yeah. Can't always hit a home run with the guys on the cam.
Do you have any worries that isn't Brian Rast? Like, he can turn up today. And he's like, look, I'm on the webcam. All right, we'll just lower the lighting. And
mate,
it's actually a very petite Brazilian woman.
He looks like Kevin Spacey from Seven right now. It's terrifying.
I wish I could break out a lyric from Seven there. Like, it's set up perfectly, and I can't. I just couldn't.
Can I do it for you?
Yeah, go on.
What's in the box? Open the box. What's in the box?
Yeah, but that's not Kevin Spacey, yeah? That's Brad Pitt.
Right, okay. Detective! That's the one. When he first comes into the precinct.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, but that's, I mean, that's not exactly a classic line.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, Sam Tricket.
For sure it is.
Flatting, let's talk about this hand for a moment. Fabrice Soulier, top pair, backdoor flush draw. But Sam Tricket flatting the ace-king and flopping a dominant top pair. Brian Rast also has a little piece of this board.
Mate, if Anatoly decided to play the 7-8 off here, would that have been our first ever family pot? For sure.
God darn you, Anatoly.
He hates history, doesn't he? He loves his 69 points, but history, GPL history, doesn't give a toot.
He couldn't know. And Sam Tricket calling in position. And this card might put the brakes on for Fabrice. Definitely Sam Tricket has ace-queen. Well, he has ace-king in his flatting range, but ace-queen's going to be a hand he's going to have here a lot. Queen-jack.
Puts on the brakes indeed. Fabrice Soulier.
Fabrice Soulier with the check. And Sam Tricket probably going to take the betting lead here. Just depends whether Fabrice ever checks stronger here.
A big stretch from the Berlin Bear.
And this is a very appetizing price with top pair. Mustapha, great fold from Fabrice Soulier. Well aware of the strength of Trickett's call with 3 players still to act behind. Gets away from the top pair for just 1 bet. Showing a bit of class there.
I mean, I think it's a snap fold.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, but let's be fair. Like, we've got some viewers, who...
Okay, let's explain it to the viewers then. In that particular situation, he's flatting pretty strong. When he's floating that board, he's just not going to have a lot of hands that Fabrice is ever beating. He's never going to really turn king. Maybe he can turn king-queen into a bluff, trying to get... But Fabrice was also continuation betting into, like, 4 guys.
Sure.
So, it is difficult to fold top pair, but you always got to think about, you know, your range, your perceived range, the fact that he decides to bet there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Mustapha Kanit, who we've said is going to play fast and loose, opening the 5-7 off, flatted by Anatoly Filatov. Little surprised, perhaps, that we didn't see a 3-bet. And Mustapha Kanit making a continuation bet with just 7 high, very little equity. And I think this hand a little too strong to turn into a bluff. And Anatoly does check and shows down the ace-queen high.
Life Loving on Twitch remarks, Squid used to be funny, now it's just another sellout. Just thought I'd let you know, Sam. You've lost at least one fan in the last 5 weeks.
Touche. Fair play to you, bruv. Putting on a suit for just $30 an hour.
To be fair, he usually takes it off, you know, when we're off camera, you know, to feel alive, to feel like he hasn't fully signed the papers, but he certainly has. I've seen them.
Signed over his soul to the devil for a couple of buy-ins to the big 109.
Yeah.
He will do anything.
Do we even still have the big 109? Didn't they replace it? The
No,
big 215? No wonder you took this job. The rates have gone up, bruv.
And Fabrice Soulier not folding the 8s on the jack-high board. Question now is whether to bet for a little bit of protection on this board with 2 flush draws or just keep the pot smaller.
Mustapha is smiling. I think maybe he's watching me right now.
And he does bet and protect the 8s against the 2 overcards. I like that choice from Fabrice. Showing a bit of class here.
Guys, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 11 p.m. Central European time, we got the German on the Paris Aviators, Judge Danzer, against Mustapha Kanit of the Roman Emperors.
Those accents are remarkably similar, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right?
George Danzer,
I was trying to balance the French one. With
George Danzer, we should point out, 3 wins for 3, 9 points secured in his one and only heads-up match. And Sam Trickett coming out with a 3-bet with Queen 9 suited. And this time, Mustapha Kanit does have a playable hand. Very dry flop. And Tricket does not continuation bet. Checks and turns the best hand. And Tricket with a very small 25% continuation bet. 25% pot continuation bet gets the job done. Sam Tricket has a lot of subtle plays within his arsenal.
Yeah.
Not someone that just blasts his opponents into submission.
For
we
sure.
saw him play the king deuce.
I wish the time did not get added to the clock because I would love to out-time manage everybody as this thing went on. Tricket likes to use his time bank, but unfortunately it doesn't really matter because once somebody busts, all their time is added to the clock. So it's probably the right thing to do. Take your time.
Nice to see a little interaction there from Brian Rast.
Yeah, thanks for that, Brian. All thoughts welcome, Brian. Do you think he's a GPL fan, Brian Rast? Think he's ever tuned in before?
I do.
Yeah?
Yes, I think that based off that comment alone.
Flop, huh?
And this is a big flop.
He doesn't even know how big.
Because Mustapha Kanit also has a gut shot and a flush draw. And if Anatoly chooses to continuation bet here, then this is going to be a very, very big pot. Anatoly got to be aware that Brian Rast has a board that has hands that connect with this board, but he does see bet with the gut shot. And Rast calls, and now on Kanit with the big, big draw.
God, he's good.
Just calls, and this card, I wonder if Kanit leads here, because he actually has.
Yep, here he goes. He's clicking, boys.
Let's go, Mustapha.
The
I
man
really
with the
like
kings.
this. I really, really like this. He has probably the most kings in his range.
So good.
And one of the few hands he's going to want to turn into a bluff on this turn, and puts Brian Rast, who has the dominating hand and the dominating draw, 94% equity, in the position of just having a bluff catcher against the range of hands Kanit is representing.
Who's the best player in the world? Musta. Is he going to win this pot? Probably not.
So what Griff's referring to is this queen might slow Mustapha Kanit down, but realistically, I don't think this can ever be good at showdown. If anything, sort of blocking king-queen even harder now. I'd love to see Mustapha Kanit fire a big bet on this river. But he doesn't. Checks back. Understandably, Brian Rast, who did, after all, call a c-bet three-way and then call a turn bet, has a very, very strong range getting to that river. Mustapha slowing down and losing a large pot to Brian Rast.
Very happy not to see a bet on that river. No lie.
Ain't no lie, hoodlum. Down over time.
Obviously, against the actual hand Brian Rast had, you know, that's if he moved all in on the river or fired a big bat, Brian Rast in a horrible position with the ace-8 of clubs. Probably would have got the job done. But that's obviously only one part of his range. Important not to be too results-orientated in poker. See, as commentators, we can be guilty of it when we can see all the hands. But all his ace-8 of clubs in real bad shape when Kanit fires there. Also, having the queen of clubs and the jack of clubs kind of blocks a decent portion of Brian Rast's ace-8 club range. Do you know what I mean? Those are the those are kind of like you know, the obvious ace-8 clubs to call in that spot. So
yeah, I mean the problem is that Brian, you know, does have a lot of kings in his range. Obviously, it's not just the ace calling twice. It's
king queen.
You know,
yeah,
it's king queen. It's king jack. You know, he's going to call the c-bets from Filatov every time with those. So Mustapha was hoping that, you know, Brian had something like what he did, but not suited to the clubs that he might consider folding. Fair play to Musta.
And Sam Trickett with a loose defend does flop best. Sam Trickett not going to be someone that's intimidated by Kanit's reputation. And turns very strongly, open-ended, straight flush draw. Trickett with the Omaha hand, and he's made a straight flush on the river. This is sick.
Oh, man. Second straight flush in the history of the Global Poker League. Statsman Eric Danny, please correct me as soon as possible if that is wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is right.
The steel wheel for Tricket.
Come on, Brav, you got to check. You got to check. Brav.
And Tricket fires out, and Kanit obviously releasing the 10.
Obviously, Mustapha cannot call. Cannot call. Cannot call on the river with 10 high.
Do you know, sometimes it's like you're doing an impression of like, who's the American manager in the American office? It's like, that's...
Which one? You're saying I'm doing a, not a Dwight, obviously. What's the, Jim? No. You're saying I'm doing, Steve Carell?
Yeah, Steve Carell's character.
Michael,
yeah.
Maybe I am. But that would make me the boss, and we all know that is not the case.
Professor X is the boss.
Yes.
We all know that.
He's the leader of the X-Men.
And Celina Lynn.
He can read all of your minds and make you do what he wants.
We've seen playing pretty snug. Does call with the 4-6 suited. And flops a pair. If you're new to poker but been following the GPL, you'll know that in this sort of spot, none of our players are going to fold second pair. when they catch a piece of the board. And one of the problems with this c-bet is not many good turn cards for the 10-9 suited with no backdoor flush draw. And Fabrice probably not going to be able to barrel this combo. In general, players keep their bluffing frequencies in line with some sort of equity. So if Fabrice has a club in his hand, a 5-6 for a straight draw, something like that, he's going to be firing again. 10 high with no flush or straight draw. He checks back the turn and gives up on the river, allowing Celina to win with the 2-pair. And for all the hype we've given Mustapha Kanit, off to a bad start here, Griff.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think that he's played pretty much every hand entirely correctly. He just faced the situation, obviously, with Tricket.
I mean, let's be honest. It's optional to peel the 3-bet with Queen 8 suited, for instance.
I would say that's a marginal mistake, but I think that Mustapha really trusts his hand reading and playability.
Yeah, but it's optional to open the 5-7 off into Anatoly Filatov's big blind. Right. I mean, he has a very high variant style, which is going to mean big swings and chips, yeah?
Yeah, but that's why he was the person that we predicted as maybe to be the first person to sweep 2 matches. Unfortunately, with the car trouble, wasn't able to rescue the Rome Emperors in that first match.
And if you'll allow me to extend the metaphor, he's having trouble getting his engine started in this particular match.
Absolutely. He just seems that he just cannot get his engines going. And...
wordplay. Hashtag wordplay.
Yeah.
And Brian Rast 3-betting the Jack-8 off, and he's picked an opportune moment for this because Celina Lin with a very weak button holding.
Yeah, you know, when I woke up this morning, I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open King 7 off into Brian Rast and Mustapha Kanit with no plan. See what happens. This is what happens, Celina. You get 3-bet.
Let's get one through.
You get a little freaking timing, timing balance thing. Oh, sorry. Should I stop? Should we see the 4-bet to 5,600?
That's what I'm talking about.
Celina, I think you played great. You need to watch out. Those two are dangerous.
Oh, dear. And Anatoly Filatov, also with a very loose open, 10-7 suited under the gun. And Celina Lin taking a second to decide what to do with the ace-8 of clubs.
Anatoly Razatov taking the under-the-gun spot with no hesitation.
Where's my good friend, Jeff Gross?
Everyone's good friend, Jeff Gross.
Wonder if Celina is going to take this spot.
Time being used up here on a pre-flop decision. Definitely not GTO.
Bobu Sapu on Twitch remarks, that street guy doesn't talk. Bring back Tricket. So if you wanted a new nickname, Brian Rast, you're street guy. There's a street behind you, I think.
And Celina Lin does 3-bet the ace-8 of clubs.
You know, if someone asks, how does Brian Rast play? I say he plays street poker, you know?
And Anatoly Filatov with the 10-7 suited is getting a good price. Obviously, you'd imagine this is the stone bottom of his opening range.
Anatoly wanted to turn himself into Floppa Flushatov.
And probably only opening this, maybe he thinks Fabrice is a little bit weak in the big blind because I haven't seen him opening this wide at any point in any other matches. And interesting, he also doesn't immediately relinquish.
Or immediately call. I mean, perhaps.
No, it's true. I forgot I was on webcam for a little while. So I was totally silent for the first 10 minutes of this match.
Oh, poor Brian.
But,
we're glad to have you back
with
us, Brian.
Poor guy.
Got to save your time on the pre-flop decisions for sure. I normally don't use it, but in this match, I've been using the auto fold button in spots where I know I'm not opening to use 0 time.
Obviously, a very studious mind, Brian Rast.
Mustapha Kanit continuing with his loose opening ranges, opening the 5-8 off on the button into Anatoly. And Fabrice with a pretty legit hand on the button. Ace-8 off. Always going to be coming in for a raise here. And Anatoly with the butchers in the small blind.
Bustier. Hopefully relinquishes the 37 big blinds. I think he will.
Anatoly, 3
bets
better
anyone, you know.
Coming in for a raise with kings. Obviously, Anatoly with a reputation as one of the looser players.
Yeah, and Fabrice,
in the GPL.
Can I just say, Fabrice is I think he's someone that really studies and watches a lot of matches. I think that he's going to have seen a lot of really weird, you know, nut representing kind of 3 bets by Filatov, like limp raising the 5-3 off blind on blind. So I think that there's a realm of possibility that, yeah, he at least does that. But
and his 4-bet actually over a third of his stack here with the ace-8 off. And Anatoly just calling with the pocket kings, wanting to keep Fabrice as wide as possible, allowing a hand like ace-8 off to stay in the mix. And Fabrice flops an inferior flush draw and turns a double gut shot here.
Equity City for Fabrice Soulier.
Yeah, if Anatoly Filatov had kings but without a heart, he would be in strong shape here. And this is the kind of trouble you can get yourself in, picking a small 4-betting size with such a junky hand. Really hard decision here.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
And Fabrice.
Bang, bong, bang, bong.
Soulier rivers a straight. And Filatov jams and will be called.
And as predicted, Filatov doing everything possible for his opponent to get there so he can finish 6th and remain at 69 points for the Moscow Wolverines. Giggity.
What do you think of that hand, Griff?
I think that I really liked the way that Filatov played it. I think he's aware of his image.
Brazil
Obviously,
later this week to play scoops for like 8 or 9 days.
Obviously, Filatov's very aware of his image, which I think is really important when you're any way that you play poker. Filatov understands that a lot of these players, especially like Fabrice, is very aware that he, you know, has been 3-betting light in a lot of different spots. You know, that was what's great about having Filatov on the cam is that he really expresses, you know, how he thinks other people are thinking about it.
Anatoly shoving it in. I have no decision with the 7-3 off.
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems.
Only objective is to save
playing
time
it
by
that
auto
slow,
folding.
yeah. This was making him realize his equity, but
yeah, with just one pot, would just pop behind. And Anatoly all in with king queen suited, completely understandable shove. And Sam Trickett with 2 9s, probably not going to let this go. Anatoly probably shoving every pair in the spot and some suited aces. Does rejam all in. And Celina and Brian certainly going to fold. Mustapha as well. And off to the races. Anatoly flopping best. Knocking Tricket down to just 6% equity.
Interesting result here. Spread the chips around, I guess, is what's happening. Probably would have preferred Tricket to win.
Yeah, Brian pointing out that Anatoly would have exited for 0 points, guaranteeing everyone at the table some points for their franchise.
All right, I think this is pretty standard. Just gonna check it back. And same thing on the turn. probably have the best hand, I think. I definitely think I have the best hand now. I think he would have bet Jack-7 or maybe even 7-6 on the turn.
Brian playing his hand in a very controlled manner, eventually going for the value bet on the river, but to no avail.
I'd like to point out to everyone right now that nobody has even 9 minutes, and I have 10 minutes. I'm that much of a time clock boss.
Musta getting shoved on here for 20 effective and putting the nit in Mustapha
I'm ready, by the way,
Kanit.
I'm so ready for
making the good fold with the ace deuce.
Time limits and tournaments. I love when tournaments have time limits and shot clocks and all that. So annoying watching people fucking tank like all the time. Can't stand it. So I love stuff like this where there's a time clock, where there's a time limit, anything. You should limit people. It's like not really fair if somebody over the course of a day takes like 3 or 4 times as long to make their decisions as someone else. Time is something that should definitely be regulated in tournaments, and stuff like this is, you know, the way it goes. It's really easy online, obviously. Right here, you just have a time limit for everybody, but gente, no pode falar aqui. Okay, I'm online.
Anatoly taking a flop with the Queen Jack, peeling out the small blind, and Sam Trickett with A7 can either complete here or utilize the blocker to make a squeeze, and he does 3-bet. Very, very small. I think I'm right in saying
strong it looks.
Generally you would expect people to go bigger here, and that's going to allow Anatoly to see a flop. That's the problem with using that kind of sizing. You do allow your opponent great pot odds, and Anatoly always has something with good flop ability. Here, Anatoly spiking the jack.
A lot of jacks in Filatov's flatting range here of the 3-bet. Hands like, you know, King Jack, Queen Jack, Jack 10 suited. So not a favorable board for Tricket, but he is going to continuation bet to keep telling his story. Doesn't work. And Tricket, sticking to his name, Tricky Tricket, but not working here. Filatov out flopping, and
yeah, I think against weaker players, that sizing would work. But Filatov, even though he's pretty capped and his range is kind of face up, he's just got so much playability that he can't. Yeah. He can always take those pot odds.
Anatoly playability Filatov.
And Sam Tricket is all in here, and Fabrice Soulier is going to have a decision for 19 big blinds with pocket sixes. So far, yeah. He does call, and Sam Tricket is at risk. Oh. Spikes the queen, so great start for the London Royal. And Fabrice turns a gut shot.
I want him to win, but it looks like Tricket's going to.
A 6 or a 4, and it bricks off. And Sam Tricket.
Someone gets busted, and the guy who has the chips has even more. I'd be in second place.
Amazing how close this match is, because that double up
definitely would have been better if Fabrice won that for me.
As far
as this
Tricket to the chip lead.
I mean, the way that the stacks are, everyone having between 25 and 32,000 other than Mustapha, it literally just looks like they're just all kind of just stabbing Musta a bit like Caesar, just little pots at the Rome Emperor, you know? Trying to take out the legend, but nobody kills Mustapha Kanit.
Brian,
and if you do, he'll be back.
Brian Rast going to look to play Brutus here
Celina
with the ace-9 of diamonds.
Folds.
Friends, Anatoly actually
Musta's
coming in
smiling because he gets to see a flop with the 84 of spades.
He jams, I think I have to call it off. Not too happy with that, but
he knows.
True story.
And Anatoly Filatov with a pretty deceptive check back of top pair. Like this with the backdoor flush draw as well. And now we'll bet for value on the turn. Rast with almost no sevens in his pre-flop peeling range. And
might have got bluffed there, but I think folding is the right play.
A request from Alts514 on the stream.
I think we're going to 3-bet get this in with him.
Bring back Celina. Easier on the eyes. You know what I have to say to that?
But I like it more than flattening.
Sam Tricket in the tank. Folds to King 8.
Fold there.
But Celina may want to come in for a raise with the Broadway holding.
Still going to 3-bet this in.
And
maybe now 3-betting with the 8-Jack pay is going to pay off.
Yeah, I wonder, has that come up on the stream yet, the Jack 8? Was that over 10 minutes ago when Brian 3-bet Celina with Jack 8 off?
I believe it probably was, yeah. He actually has Jack 8 on the stream here that I have right here. This is a little older.
Brian Rast 3-bets the button. This time he does have the hand.
Please tell us what you think about this hand on Twitter. Hashtag dynamic, hashtag gameflow, hashtag metagame,
hashtag firebenger,
firebenger, hashtag save Musta.
And Celina Lynn gonna give this her consideration. Does fold, and this is a situation where the tighter strategy of Celina does pay dividends. No ego either with Celina Lynn. You know, even though she's been bluffed.
Another good hand.
In a similar spot. Just laying it down.
Ooh. Tricket opens.
A lot of very playable 5 hands that I would want to see a flop with. 6 even. But it's all about who gets it first, really. Unless people are willing to mess with each other. Brian Rast, great potential 3-bet spot here, but he elects to let it go. Great.
Don't like calling here with short stack behind you can shove, and 3 people behind in general against Tricket, who has not been playing too loose under the gun. I mean, I think he folded ace-5 suited last time, so if he's folding ace-5 suited in that spot, not that excited about calling with king-10 suited.
Brian Rast obviously adapting and changing his range according to how his opponents are playing. Great stuff from the #1 draft pick for the Berlin Bears. Sam Tricket folding the Queen Deuce high. Someone that does play a little tighter from the blinds than some players. We saw that in the heads-up match against Randy Lou. Made some tightish folds.
Mustapha.
All in. And Sam Tricket with a decision here. Ace-9 of hearts. Does he feel it's ahead of Mustapha Kanit's range?
Is that Dario Sammartino in the background? Or someone who looks remarkably Italian?
This has to be really close. Sam Tricket in the tank. I wouldn't blame him if he made the call here. Obviously, as we can see, Mustapha Kanit has him pipped. But there's a good chance that Mustapha Kanit is shoving all suited aces here. And also maybe some offsuit aces worse than ace-9. Certainly be shoving suited broadways as well. Very, very close decision. That's what Sam Trickett's going to be thinking through now. And obviously we can see it would be a disastrous call. He does re-raise, and Mustapha Kanit in great shape to double up.
Big smile on the face of the Rome Emperor.
There are some chop outs now. An ace or a queen.
Pretty good flop for ace-10.
Or a 3. Or an ace. Chop City.
And Mustapha Kanit, rivers 2
and
pair.
And short stack wins again.
And
short stack winning every all-in.
Very even
Not
stacks.
Good for me at the moment because I have the most chips. So if I get it all in, I might be destined to lose. You know, if you believe in that kind of thing.
Anatoly Filatov. This is like...
I think I'm going to have to defend here. I don't think there's another play.
I don't know whether I like this kind of open. Do you think you could fold there with Tricket on the button and Rast
with people that finished second and sixth in a $1 million buy-in. Yeah, I think I could let that go the Ace-4. Yeah.
I know. In this instance, it does work out for him.
But if there's ever a crazy Russian bastard that's just going to not care and go for it, it's Anatoly Filatov.
Yeah, and we should say Anatoly Filatov's record in these 6 max matches is nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah.
2 second places and a win. One of the most consistent performers in the GPL so far.
Certainly not top boy, but one of the boys.
Yeah, I mean,
so far
beat Vanessa Sarp's heads up as well.
Yep.
And Brian Rast with a very junky looking 10-7, but with the covering stack, he's going to look for a way to exert pressure on Mustapha.
Did Filatov beat Vanessa Sarp, or did Vanessa Sarp beat herself? Hashtag something to think about. Hashtag GPL. Are we still voting on the website? We should be plugging that. We had a great little vote of who was going to win the first season of GPL. You know who was winning? The Sao Paulo Mets. Because vamos. Ja, 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 ja.
And Mustapha Kanit doesn't give a walk with the deuce 4, does complete. And has a diamond in his hand and probably the stronger range on this board. In fact, certainly the stronger range on this board. C-bets and gets the job done.
Follow us on Twitch, guys. Twitch.tv/GPL. It's a little follow button in the corner there. That will alert you every time that we are on the air.
Yeah, I want to say, Sam Trickett, if you're listening, follow us.
Yeah, Sam Tricket. As a matter of fact, I'm happy to pay for your monthly subscription.
Maybe, you know, you're thinking what to do with the girlfriend. You've watched The Wire. You finished Breaking Bad. You've gone through Better Call Saul. Why not tune in watch some GPL, Sam?
Well, even you know, more than that, you know, The Path on Hulu, starring you know, some really talented actors. Please check that out.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu, yeah.
Okay. And Anatoly Filatov 3-betting the 10-4 suited. Such creative ways that the Moscow Wolverines manager finds to pick up chips. Realizes Rast is going to be opening very wide in that spot, going to have hands he can't defend, and using a junky suited 7-gapper to go for the 3-bet. Love that from Anatoly. Really exciting player to watch.
Absolutely. Filatov really playing like...
Oh, here we go. Brian Rast putting on the ICM pressure. He has open jammed here.
Love it.
Nearly 30 big blinds, forcing, you'll see, Anatoly to fold
to
pocket
snap
sevens.
Fold, yeah.
No more messing around. And we have showered Mustapha Kanit. His webcam game not up to scratch.
You know what?
People have spoken, and we've got Anatoly.
This is what I'll tell you. I know Mustapha pretty well, and I think that he has 2 moods
this is a
modes
chat
when
here.
he plays poker.
I didn't
He's either
realize
chatty
that there's a
Cathy, he's
chat.
colorful
One,
and
never
friendly
fold,
and engaging, and then the other times he's dead freaking like let's get the money. And unfortunately today we got the Musta that was probably maybe playing some Poker Stars tournaments, and I think in the future he'll be much more animated. He'll be a cartoon character, like I promised. But until that time, you've made me a fool, Musta, and I don't forgive you. And I would like you to take me to dinner.
Sam Tricket is extremely aggressive, guys.
Play every hand for the orbit.
Yeah, I would fold.
One
This
day.
time I would fold.
1,
I feel
2,
like
3,
that Sam
probably
could do
fold.
something. Because, like 25% of his range. Celina is shoving. We all right now we all have the kind of the same stacks, but Brian has more. If he loses an all-in, it's okay for him.
I think if Brian had seen
We'll
the
see.
way
Oh,
Celina
he's
played the
5.
King-Jack in the last hand, he would fold here. But he does call and is going to need a 3 or running diamonds. Otherwise, Celina Lin will take the chip lead. Now, just a 3. Bricks off, and Celina Lin
Bad for her.
doubles through Brian Rast and claims the chip lead, rather.
Hashtag the claimer.
Our boy, Rick Trigg. Big moment there for Celina Lin. Big hold. She's run pretty bad, as she likes to tell us, in this 6-max format.
To set my camera better way.
You're looking great there, Anatoly.
19,
Is it okay right now?
15 big
More
blinds.
like Anatoly
I have to
Buffetov.
turn
Been hitting the gym. Follow him on Instagram, guys. He's a great gym rat follow. Pump and iron.
Brian Rast just taking the plus EV shove with the Jack-9 off. And no players lost in the 6-12 level. Remember, the next player out will leave with 0 points.
And remember even more, the next level is my favorite level of the GPL, the 816 level. They drop like flies. So look forward to that.
Stuck. Oh, I'm sorry. Mustapha. Shove. Okay. Fabrice folds. Actually, the King 10, it's usually call situation in the tournaments, but right now, if Fabrice shove, I'm not sure. I would fold.
Yeah, Anatoly very aware of the different ranges different players play. See, Fabrice immediately folded the queen high.
I guess he wouldn't shove a lot.
Suggesting that if he did jam,
But
king 10 is not going to be a call.
Oh, this is just a standard bet. But if I raise, he could shove many hands, so I don't want to lose some extra big blind. I just fold.
Sam Trickett with the butchers. Going to be thinking how to extract some value from Celina Lynn, whether to limp or come in for a raise. Min raises, trying to price Celina in with exactly this kind of hand.
Tricky Trickett. Back at it again with the limp.
And Celina Lynn, I don't think she can fold the 9-10 off here to a min open. Probably going to be suspicious. There's so many hands.
This kind of strange line.
Yeah.
Because he has to shove like most of his range, so he's trying to represent the pretty thin range here. I don't think that's a great play. When he checked this board, it seems to me like he has an absolutely air here. So I know it's difficult to bluff this board with ace high on the big blind
and
from
Tricket
Celina.
Does let Celina catch up a little.
Nothing like king high. So if she shoves, he had to fold that.
And
okay.
This runs out pretty perfectly for Sam
now
Trickett.
Sam could bet. Come on, Sam.
Anatoly
represents 7.
Immediately realizing that min raise was very unusual from Trickett. And let's see if Celina can work
spot, by the
this
way.
through.
It's not standard. Come on, Celina, you have to call. If you have something, please.
Yeah, I don't think Celina can fold here, getting this good a price when she does have a pair. But
Anatoly Commentatov.
Yeah, loving that insight from Anatoly. Obviously, we can see that she should fold. And this whole hand played out in very weird manner. You would imagine if Sam Trickett didn't have anything, if he had just queen 10 high, he would make a continuation bet on the a7-3 board.
I have no idea why.
And Celina Lynn, take a bow, Celina.
Yeah.
Amazing fold. Sam Trickett.
Beautiful.
Playing the kings to trap Celina Lynn. But
Musta.
No, Musta. Pretty good.
Musta.
I'd have gotten folded to these guys and they min raised. I could have defended the blinds.
And Griffin Benger in tears because Sam Trickett is going to make the call with the ace king and put Mustapha Kanit at risk.
Wow, it's deuce.
Deuce. Ducks fly together.
Guess it's a little bit wild.
Ducks fly together.
And
Chop City, baby.
Chop opportunity now. An ace or a king required for Trickett.
Nope. You can kill the Musta.
And Mustapha Kanit showing a little bit of the run good that has made him millions of dollars over the last couple of years.
Mustapha Kanit, the Jon Snow of the GPL.
I'd love to
just when you think he's gone.
Okay, I would try to steal this.
Hashtag no spoilers.
And Anatoly with very loose open. And depending on Mustafa's read on Anatoly will depend how he plays the ace-9. He does shove.
Like a boss. Go on then, Musta.
And Mustapha Kanit, who has not played particularly well in this first match, is still alive.
Someone has
actually
to bust
third in chips now.
And this one, come on, it's not me.
Musta. I know you think Fabrice might be a bit tight here.
Oh, no. And Fabrice Soulier is at risk to be first out, by the way.
7 from heaven, 3
and he has only secured 1 point. It is a 3.
Wow, he has
Fabrice needs a 10 ace or queen. Otherwise, he'd be eliminated first again.
Musta.
Mustapha Kanit. I mean, I wish we had Fabrice Soulier.
Oh my!
On
Can we get
camera,
an interview? We'd like to.
He
producer Luis
will be
Can we please get an interview with
Fabrice Soulier out in last spot again. No points today for the Paris Aviators.
Who's the chip leader? Musta.
Mustapha Kanit absolutely
Mustapha would shove
mugging off Soulier there with a very loose shove.
Wild.
And he's actually got the chip lead.
And usually this is a snap call for making ace offsuit, but you know,
keeping it very unbiased here. At the
I will
GPL
wait for a while
cheering.
till these guys just bust each other.
Electing not to make the call would be a swing.
Fabrice just said, "Well played, mate." If Mustapha raised here, I would definitely shove. Oh, he just calls. This is a shove for me for sure.
Anatoly, no respecter of Kanit's limp.
It looks pretty weak from Mustapha.
So every player now
Brian is gonna shove.
Secured a point.
I guess. No.
For their franchise.
This is a standard shove. If I just raise fold here, it's too exploitable from this player. So.
Thing is, another way to look at another way to look at it is you're exploiting Celina's tendencies by raising there rather than shoving. I don't think Celina Lin is going to go after that open too much. Probably not going to even defend correctly.
As you can see,
let's go walk.
So Fabrice busted. It means that Nasco Wolverines will be on the first position after this match. That sounds awesome, guys.
Filatov, thrilled that Fabrice busted first both times. A little disappointed that the Wolverines now no longer have 69 points, as he is the quagmire of the GPL.
We go. Staying alive.
Hashtag giggity.
That's the name of the game.
And Sam Trickett also in position, and Celina Lin to close down the gap on Paris Aviators.
And Sam also an opportunity to become the first ever winner of back-to-back six-match matches.
So
he just has to get through the unkillable Mustapha Kanit.
So much to stay tuned. Stay tuned, guys. Lots on offer.
Call your friends, guys.
I would call. This board, I just check full.
And Celina Lin, with way the stronger range, pretty entitled to make a continuation bet here.
And just entitled in general, you know? Have you ever talked to her? I'm just kidding.
Here.
Celina, the sweetest sweetheart of sweets. But entitled to some points here, I'll say that. Not like this, you know?
Well,
she's been playing well. She's been getting it in
fold against Sam Tricket.
Great fold.
Really enjoyed that.
Top class from the top girl.
I think
of the Hong Kong Staus.
Yeah, I think Sam wouldn't have played that hand, his hand like that against someone like Brian Rast.
No.
Trying to take advantage of the fact that maybe he doesn't think Celina's.
The sit and go is really tough.
She obviously
it's pretty close. Everything is so close.
And Celina Lin, yes.
Oh, I like it.
Aware of how loose Kanit's opening. Not on my watch Kanit. Shoving the sevens. Really like that from Celina Lin. padding
Time for
her
another
chip
walk.
lead.
No walk.
Man, it's kind of
Okay, I'm not
exploitable
gonna defend.
to raise a 6 offsuit,
Could very well be a defend, but
it's still good. It's a good blocker.
love to just stay alive. Push fold. Just push fold, say.
And Celina Lynn folding the 3 deuce. I think Tony Gregg or Tricket might have opened there, given the precarious position
could jam
the other
that.
2 players
Queen
are in.
sits
But
out.
obviously can't be bad to fold the 3 deuce suited.
Sam, come on, shove. Brian, come on. Mustapha, call. No.
Rast does get the jam through.
Stay alive to get the king 9 through.
And Celina Lynn with 2 10s and Mustapha Kanit with ace queen.
That's big blinds, Celina.
And 21 big blinds. 2 very, very strong blockers here. And he 3 bets. And really interesting. Not opting to jam. And Celina snap moves in.
My goodness. Mustapha 3 bets, Celina shoves.
And I wonder if Mustapha Kanit picks up on the timing tell here. He does feel obligated to call such a high variance style. And this is a humongous flip. Brick on the turn. Mustapha Kanit needs an ace or a queen or he'll be out for 1 point.
Musta. Oh, wow.
Bricks off Mustapha Kanit.
All of a sudden we're in 4th.
Inducing with the ace queen.
3rd place in chips. 2nd place is very attainable right now.
And
very attainable 2nd place.
Pretty disastrous
Which would
for
be awesome.
the Emperors.
After 1 point in the first round, getting 5 points in this.
And
if you think about it, there's actually 18 points available in each sit and go. So 3 is the average outcome. So if I got 5 in here, I would have broken even.
And what is
so to speak.
Celina Lynn folding the suited queen? Don't think you can be doing that against Sam Tricket. That's definitely a call in terms of.
I mean, okay, this is what I'll say.
Nash.
This is what I'll say. It's definitely a call, but I think Celina Lynn, you know, it's a really, really tough remaining field. We're talking about Anatoly Filatov, one of the stars of the league so far. Sam Tricket, she probably, it's just like she just won that huge flip. I think she just didn't want to deal with the responsibility of a 7 big blind all in with queen 3
And
suited.
Brian Rast calling with the ace high.
Good flop. Good flop for the ace-7. Let's keep it real with a blank. Oh,
Sam
it's not a
Tricket
blank.
with a bink, but Brian Rast still with
I got a lot of
40%
outs.
equity.
Lot of outs, and I don't hit.
Sam Tricket doubling
Standard.
through.
Standard never beat Tricket. And all in.
And Brian Rast on the critical list with 2.5 big blinds, slightly less.
Now I've got the 9-5 offsuit with.
I'd love to see a. Well, she can
She's a bit
jam.
too strong to a jam.
Yeah,
jam,
maybe
no?
maybe just
Induce.
raise. Yeah.
Induce the Filatovian one.
Yeah, I actually like this. I might even prefer this. And Brian Rast folds the 9-5 off.
In this case, Brian has like nothing.
Might be better just to call here, but
I just call or just fold. Okay, I call the suited. This hand is so big.
interesting
Wow.
how aware
Now
he
I
is
have a
to even
straight
decide
draw.
to fold there for the
Yeah.
extra points. Wow.
Obviously, he's
I
so.
would definitely check call here. This is the points difference. It's like 2 points and then 3 points. So just 1 point difference. So I would just check call here. Maybe I will catch my outs.
Would want to pressurize Filatov with a hand like
I fold.
Queen 10.
Whatever.
Doesn't shove, perhaps a little bit of a tell of the strength of her hand. And Filatov gets away from the king high. And Celina entitled to just run the table over while Rast is so short. Be great to see her come in for a raise here, but not her style. A little bit more cautious than some of the players. And
Wow, Brian is going all in. I'll just fold or just call here. Damn, that's kind of tough spot for me. Jack 8 suited. I'm not sure would Sam shove here or not. Guess he doesn't need to. It's better to buzz Brian like satellite.
Not a good flop for me. An 8 or a 10 could give me the best hand.
Sam Tricket turning the wheel and Brian Rast drawing dead to a chop.
4.
Jack.
Also wouldn't mind 4.
Oh,
wow.
4.
Wheels here.
No one has a 6, right?
Wonder if Tricket tries to bluff Filatov
find
off a
out.
chop here. There are some chips to be gained. Filatov himself would probably bet a 6. And Tricket does move in. So Brian Rast and Tricket
Just for 2k.
pick up.
I have no idea. There's no
some
reason to
gravy.
bet this for 2k. I don't think that's a
I
good
love
idea.
it. I love it, Trickster. We're gonna fold the Jack 8 offsuit.
Actually, the best hand, surprisingly.
Yeah, unfortunate spot because Celina Lim would have called him with a hand where he was in deep trouble, but waiting for some suited cards in the big blind and gets dealt the 10 deuce.
Jack 9, I just fold. I need more points.
See, I think if you're going to
Sure.
shove the 10-8 off with 2 hands to come, I think you got to. I'm surprised he didn't shove the Jack 8 off.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, with 3 big blinds, it's like
Yeah.
can never be that bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those spots maybe where he needs to take a little more time. It's also easy for us to be results oriented, knowing that everyone else had 10, 6, 9, 8, and whatever
Yeah.
it
One of
was.
the worst hands possible.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can fold.
Guess I'm gonna just see if I flop a pair.
Yeah, tough spot for Brian Rast. He is getting an incredible price,
Давай уже.
4 to
Come
1
on.
to see a flop.
Sorry for my Russian. Давай.
He does have the requisite equity if he can always realize it post-flop. Amazing the amount of thought that goes into a decision with 3 big blinds here. And boom, Brian Rast flopping big with the 10 deuce. This is pretty much the nuts. All in and ahead.
Can he finally win it all in against Sam Tricket?
This is actually a big pot, by the way, 15K.
Just kidding. Ooh, gets it, holds. Great news there for Brian.
Brian Rast
Brian.
outplaying Sam
Not
Tricket
sure what
post
the
flop.
right
The
play with
variance has
10
come
deuce
back,
offsuit
Brian.
was there, but it worked out.
The $12 million ace-high flush you flopped made it all worth it
Sure, will he
with that
do
15,000
the same with me?
chip pot in the points format here.
And
GPL.
Celina Lin at last
Definitely
beginning
have the best
to
hand here,
capitalize
so there is
on
just
her.
1 point difference. I would like to gamble here. Come on, let's do it, guys. It's 6-7. Ace 5 is okay
Wow.
for me.
How about a running 8-9? Oh, 4-9, 4-9. Let's move up. 4-9.
No.
Man. Nothing bad and nothing special. Now I could pretend for the first place most of the time, or for the second. So sometimes you just need to gamble.
And Filatov with king high and Brian Rast very short.
Oh,
Sam Tricket doesn't even think about it. Snaps with the ace 9.
Not going to.
deuce, 4, king,
Don't chop though.
4,
Don't wanna chop.
3.
So no 3.
Oh,
There we go.
sick.
And both short
I'm the
stacks doubling
shortest
up.
now.
And Filatov now even shorter than Brian Rast as we enter the 12-24
Now I
level.
don't pretend.
Because we have more chips in Anatoly, I'm not gonna shove wide here. King 4 suited going in the muck. So Anatoly is probably gonna get called in this hand.
And Celina
King
Lin
3, queen 3.
really unfortunate to be
So I'm
dominated.
still ahead.
Really unfortunate for Celina Lin and
5,
for Brian
yes.
Rast
Double up.
because
Very interesting matchup, guys.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of intrigue here. I need more points to
love it.
bring Moscow team to the first position.
Huge fan of the Filatov. And Brian Rast, if we look ahead, picking up a hand at just the right moment.
So you're a Fanatov.
Hashtag wordplay. And Sam Tricket deciding what to do with the Queen 8 does fold. And Celina Lin obliged to put Brian Rast all in.
A 4 for
I'm
Celina.
just not running good on these all-ins, am I? How about a king or a queen?
A king or his lady.
No.
And we do lose Brian Rast out for 2 points for the struggling Berlin Bears. First round draft pick, not able to make much of an impact.
The bumbling Berlin Bears, the bad Berlin Bears,
and
the broke Berlin Bears.
Brian Rast definitely not broke. And Celina Lin.
But the rest of them, I mean, what? Do you think Bill Perkins has any money? Sir Mizzi?
Balancing her range somewhat by jamming the ace king. Only having a jamming or folding range there, I think is a pretty good strat from Celina.
Filatov getting a hand when he needs it.
Yeah, and interesting to see if Celina jams or raises here. She does come in for a raise, and this is going to help Sam Tricket fold the ace deuce.
Wow, Celina is a breath of fresh air.
I'm ahead.
Great backdrop. Great little hint at a plant in the background.
Why she's thinking like?
Oh my days, she
nice.
folds.
That's nice. I don't mind at all.
Celina definitely needing to work on her poker math a bit. Very poor fold there for the 6-7 big blinds after putting in 2. Yeah, not good form there. She also made it 2 point like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just
Well, we could see against pocket 8s, which is going to be one of the strongest hands he has, where the deuce doesn't play. She had 30% equity, which is very close to it. So if he has any queen jacks, ace jacks, which he obviously does.
Ace queen, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you got 2 live cards too often. I think that's it.
I'm pretty sure the math. I mean, like she folded with such confidence that I feel like maybe our math is wrong.
Anyway,
can we get our math guy in here? Do we have a math guy or just the stats guy?
Season
Laura, are you the math guy?
Season 2, we're promised a math guy.
All right.
And Anatoly with 7-4 off. Not a jam for Filatov. But the Jack 5 suited on the button folds that
Okay, so we have the
as well.
chip lead right now against Anatoly and Sam.
30,000, something like that. Oh, okay. 40,000 is okay too. Sam Tricket is on the line. Looking nice. Okay. Okay, Sam. Let's do it. No. His race folding.
I mean, I think this is a call as well, yeah, Griff. I mean, yeah.
No. He's calling King 9
does
suited.
call with the King 9 suited.
Wow, the board is dangerous.
Queen or a 10 or a king or an ace. Now for Tricket, lot of outs.
The world is mine. Bam, bam. Let's do it, Moscow.
Anatoly Filatov with a big hold and a big double up.
Many times in all in.
Switching chip position with Sam Tricket.
Just fold.
Sam Tricket, remember, won the first match of the day and secured 7 points. Anatoly Filatov came second in that match. 3 top 2 finishes already for the Wolverines manager. And this is pretty risky play being covered by Celina, but does...
No, it's actually a pretty good move by Anatoly here. If he had raised, I would have shoved ace-4 into him. But because he shoved, we're not going to go ahead and call.
Yeah. Takes the unexploitable shove spot.
Nines. I'm scared to shove King 9 also, but I have to. If I don't...
And Sam Tricket with a strong hand on the button and Celina Lin with queens in the small blind.
So I can listen to that. I can handle it.
Celina Lin.
We are winning here, guys. Moscow.
Just looking to fade.
Moscow.
2 kings.
All right, come on. Can our queens hold? All right, good. We're heads up now. We're guaranteed 5 points, guys.
Does hold. Great performance from Sam Tricket. A first and a third in his first 6 max matches in the GPL. Great stuff from the London Royal. And we're now heads up. Anatoly Filatov against Celina Lin. The two managers, and Filatov with a great opportunity to double up. But an ace would win this for Celina Lin. 2 aces she can hit now. Obviously, diamonds wrap things up on the turn.
Yeah, rебята. Straight flush. 5 of diamond. 1 time.
Always a hope.
Filatov
No,
running
he's
back.
pretty wide, raising it up. I think, I'm pretty happy getting in for less than 20 bigs versus Anatoly.
Duck.
And now it's Filatov who has the chip lead. Let's just talk for a moment about Anatoly's record in this format.
Sorry, I'm just
a win and 2 seconds already. Another 5 points.
Unbelievable performer for the Moscow Wolverines.
So I will raise this kind of stacks in heads up. Check behind with my queen. This board. Trying to trap her. It's usually bad here, but I decided to check behind. Maybe it will give me a chance to make some equity. But right now we start betting.
Such swagger from Filatov, and a little bit of a pensive look on the face of Celina Lin. Obviously someone that cares so deeply about the Hong Kong Stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks a little bit nerve-wracked. Three bet Filatov. Go on, I love a 3-bet with the 3-6 suited here.
I would 3-bet really small.
Yeah.
Really, he's pretty aggressive. He's really attacking pre-flop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that one
really
go.
like that hand to go after Celina Lin with.
Nice. That sounds awesome. I'll just fold 3 offsuit here. Come on, Moscow. 20 bigs, my favorite game. I'm kidding. My favorite game is 10 bigs.
And Celina Lin flopping strongly with the 4-3. And we lose the guys on Skype for a moment. If you're joining us late, the first match of the day won by Sam Tricket, and it was Anatoly Filatov who finished second in that match. And now the second match of 4 we're going to have for you today. Anatoly Filatov, manager of the Moscow Wolverines, heads up against Celina Lin, manager of the Hong Kong Stars. Anatoly Filatov, as well as defeating Vanessa Selps in heads-up combat, has already won 1 and got 2 seconds in the 6-max format. Leading from the front for top-of-the-table Moscow Wolverines, started the day 1 point behind Paris Aviators, and if he can close out another win, will swing from 1 point behind to 13 points in front after Fabrice Soulier, the manager of the Paris Aviators, was not able to register a single point. So in terms of the league standings, a huge day in the GPL. But to bring us back to the present moment and the present contest, Celina Lin flops 2 pair here on Jack 4-3 and check raises.
Celina looking for to become Celina Win, not able to secure one yet for the Hong Kong Stars, but what a tough field this was. Tough heads-up opponent here. Filatov, snap folding there with the Queen 5.
I think he's timed out or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe misclicked.
does happen to the best of us. Unfortunate situation here for Filatov if he comes back, because I feel like this might be the kind of hand.
Put it this way, if the screen names were anonymous, you know, we've got to be fair.
That's
Mustapha
fair.
Kanit coming in with a very, very loose strategy, playing other tables, you know, trying to, you know, outplay people post, you know, obviously this is a strategy that's one in millions, but in this circumstance didn't work out well for him, and, you know, not able to register.
This is Musta, by the way.
The Rome Emperors still continuing to
If
struggle.
I know anything about Mustapha Kanit, he will be back.
Yeah, of course. Mustapha Kanit still with lots to offer the GPL. Great player, great poker pedigree.
Okay.
And
oh my word, he's using pedigree again. Can I say something? What's going on with Fabrice Soulier and the Paris Aviators?
Well, I mean, Fabrice has run pretty.
Of course he has.
I mean,
great player.
By the way,
like,
so Mustapha Kanit shoved. In case you missed that moment, that there were so many highlights this match, so many exciting hands and differing dynamics. Mustapha Kanit obviously is. Someone that plays on the looser side.
Yeah.
I think he feels particularly that Fabrice is not necessarily going to call completely optimally, completely Nash. They're blind on blind. What I'm saying by that is he thinks Fabrice, being of a slightly older generation of poker players, is going to make some tight folds
it was
there.
a bad shove.
So he goes for the shove.
Sorry,
with the
Mustapha.
3-7 off. Fabrice snaps him off, and Fabrice has run pretty bad in this format.
The running joke here at the GPL is that Fabrice Soulier has run worse now by far than anyone. I mean, he's had what? Has he put up a point yet?
Yeah,
he had the 1 point, so a 5th place, a 6th place, and 2 6th places. So far, the weak link for the Paris Aviators, but honestly, an incredibly talented player.
Yeah, I mean,
and he is going to be back.
And
but
obviously,
but listen, I have just received a picture that he's been found on the streets of Malta looking for points. Tough times for the Paris Aviators and Fabrice Soulier. But when he comes back, I know he's going to storm up to the rankings because he is one of the better players in the league.
In terms of the
and
division,
one of the best managers.
In terms of the division, the London Royals closing the gap on the Paris Aviators.
Yep.
Moscow Wolverines tearing ahead of them. You know, big movement in the league standings. And Sam Trickett, once again, putting on an exceptionally strong performance across the 2 matches. This is a guy who was the wildcard pick for an already very strong franchise in the London Royals. They're going to be climbing the table, and if those guys get momentum, they could still challenge Moscow for the first place.
Yeah, it was nice to see 4 managers playing too. I mean, this is the first time we've had that many managers playing, and it's interesting to see the kind of different styles that the managers are implementing. In this particular match, we only had the 3, but we had the 4th, which Max Pescatori in the first match. It's just interesting to see how, a guy like Max was playing really cautious because he really wants to secure some points for the Rome Emperors. A couple of hands he definitely, in our opinion at least, should not have folded. You look at the way that Celina Lin played, made a couple really tight folds as well that we weren't really happy with. So it's interesting to see the differing styles. And poor Fabrice Soulier calling with the ace-queen and just nothing going the guy's way. Love the guy.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And the debut for Brian Rast, we had him on the webcam.
Yep.
Did manage to secure some points for the Berlin Bears.
He's really good, by the way.
Came in with a looser strategy.
He's
then
really
when
good.
he went a little bit card dead, laddered up as well as he could. As he said, didn't win too many all-ins.
What's interesting to talk about, too, is that, players like Rast, I feel, guys that play for the most amount of money. This guy played a $500,000 buy-in this summer and won it for $7.2 million. This is a guy that studies every single small edge, and it was interesting to see him talking so much about the time. I think that might have almost been him kind of overcompensating for maybe a lack of research he'd done, because the time has not been a huge factor in a lot of these matches. So it's kind of his way of like being on the cam and maybe thinking like, okay, we need to talk about something. I think that if he takes the approach of a guy like George Danzer, watch him play tomorrow, see what he talks about, the randomization, that's the kind of stuff
for instance,
that I want to see from Brian.
I mean, one of the things to say is, these leaks that some of the players have, they're not going to be exploited unless you watch the footage.
Right.
I think that if Sam Trickett, Brian Rast, watch back the footage, or if a manager watches back the footage and covers for them, people will begin to exploit those leaks in the players' games.
Yeah.
But if you don't do the homework, you can't.
It's right here, guys. We literally have hours and hours. I know poker players are lazy, but players, it's all there for you, buddy. You want to win points for your country, for your city, for your friends, for your teammates? Do the research.
Yeah.
Let's go to Laura.
Yeah, I think we're going to head over to the lounge where Laura is going to update us on what all that action means.
The eye in the sky.
Thank you so very much, guys. Well done. Congratulations to Anatoly Filatov there, picking up 7 points for the Moscow Wolverines. Really, they are excelling in the front now, and It's just unfortunate for Fabrice Soulier, unable to score 0 points yet again. It means that gap is going to be even bigger between first and second place now. Anatoly Filatov, 7 points then. Celina able to pick up 5 points for the Hong Kong Stars. She was really happy about that. Trickett wasn't able to do the sweep this time in the 6 max. He got first in the first 6 max game. This time he got third, making him 3 points, which means he's done really well, scoring 10 points today for the London Royals. Mustapha Kanit failed to get much going in that second game today. He picked up 2 points though for the Rome Emperors. Rast in 5th place, only able to pick up 1 point again there for the Berlin Bears. And poor Fabrice Soulier, unable to get anything going. And he was incredibly unlucky there with his ace-queen against Mustapha's 3-8, I think, and the 3 that hit on the turn. We'll be taking a look at the standings and how those points affect the Eurasian Conference standings very, very shortly. But we know for a fact that the Moscow Wolverines are way out in front now. I believe they are 11 points clear of the Paris Aviators. There you go, 76 points for the Wolverines and 11 points, as we said, clear of Paris Aviators. We will hope to speak to Fabrice at some point. I'm sure he's not very happy though about how the gap has widened between first and second place now. Obviously, I'm sure one person that will be happy about that is Anatoly Filatov, who just took down those 7 points. London Royals then on third place with 59 points, thanks to Trickett's 10 points today. Hong Kong Stars, 58 points, so just 1 point behind the Royals. Celina's 5 points, unable to get her up to third place. Berlin Bears, a whole 10 points now behind the Hong Kong Stars because Rast only able to score 2 points in both of those matches today, and the Rome Emperors sitting still at the bottom, 3 points behind the Bears, 45 points for them. Mustapha Kanit and Max Pescatori unable to get much going for the Rome Emperors today as well. Still unable to get any wins so far in the 6 max tournaments, but we did see Rome's first win, Max Pescatori taking that one down heads up last week. We will be back with our Americas Conference 6 max matches very soon, in fact. So do stay tuned here with us at Global Poker League. And don't forget to head over to the website, globalpokerleague.com, and give us your thoughts and opinions. How can we make this better? How can we improve it? We want your ideas and we want you to tell us. So all you need to do is head over to the website, look down at the bottom right-hand corner. You should see a little grey tab. Click on that grey tab and you can input all of the information there. You can check out all the standings, all the information about players, teams, anything you need to know. It's all on the website. But do remember to stay here on twitch.tv/GPL because that next Americas Conference 6 max match is coming up very soon. We've got Fedor Holz, we've got Jason Mercier, Jonathan Jaffe, Martin Jakobsen, Joao Bauer, and Jonathan Duhamel and Scott Ball. So an absolutely epic lineup once again here at the Global Poker League. Do join us back here then.
Can't get enough of the GPL? Head over to globalpokerleague.com for the most complete and up-to-date standings, schedule, stats, and information on your favorite team, as well as full-length match replays, highlights, and epic hands from all of our matches, and much, much more.